Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all, to the latest episode of Heresy Hammer. My name is Lee, and joining me today is our special guest, Alex. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Today, we are going to be talking about the mighty 12th Legion, the World Eaters. This has been one that's been requested quite a lot, I have to say. There's been a lot of people thirsty for skulls, so hopefully we can
Nice,
do it
simple
some
fan
justice.
favorite.
Yeah, well, they are, aren't they? I was thinking this yesterday when I was going through the PowerPoint of I don't know if it's just events I've been going to, but I feel like there aren't a huge amount of World Eaters armies out there. I haven't seen a massive amount, but then I don't know if that's just like my little bubble that I've been playing in. Is that something you've noticed,
I think
or
they've
not
always been
really?
around because they're one of the legions that got their rules super early,
Yeah,
and obviously are important in every aspect of the heresy.
yeah,
So it means that, they're relatively simple and fun to kind of play. If you just want to run around charging and killing, then it's easy to do, and they're
they
obviously
are.
quite big in 40k as well. So if you've come from that
Yes,
kind of
yeah,
world, you
yeah.
might be interested. So there's normally kind of one or two
Okay, okay. Well, that's good to hear.
lists
Yeah,
at
no, that's just
each
something
event I've gone to.
it's just something I was thinking of yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I don't actually think I've seen any World Eaters armies this edition, and I was like, is that a reflection on the edition, or just? I think it's probably just a coincidence more than anything. But yeah, we are going to be talking all things World Eaters. So sharpen your chain axes, let the nails sing, as we take a deep dive into probably the angriest legion of the heresy, the World Eaters. But before that, more on our guest host Alex. So we were just talking briefly off air, and me and Alex have never actually met each other before. So this is our kind of first time meeting.
Indeed.
But I have been following you on Instagram. I have been stalking you, and we got some of Alex's work on display now, and this is some pretty fucking baller World Eaters going on here. I have to say, I absolutely love the old school drop pod.
The Dreadclaw.
Yeah, the Chaos Dreadcore. That is fucking. Is that a? That's not an original, is it? Tell me it's
No,
a.
it's not an original. I
Okay,
kind of
okay.
was really when getting the rules for Latara, and kind of spoilers onto things we'll talk about later,
Yeah.
where she can help with aerial reserves. I originally was
Oh,
like,
of
oh, I
course.
want to take
Yes,
Storm
yes.
Eagle, but there's problems using that. And I've always loved the original design. And luckily, kind
Yeah.
of searching through the web, managed to find a file that I could print.
Nice.
And it is gorgeous. Apart from there is too much trim because it's kind of chaosy in design.
Yeah, they love their trim, don't they? They
They
do love
do.
their trim. But I absolutely love that. And I'm guessing that's a third party Angron because again,
Yeah.
as we were discussing, we don't currently have a model for him. So
Oh, it's
yeah.
bonkers. Yeah, the fact that they kind of were previewed on Valentine's Day back in February, and I printed him kind of about 18 months ago,
Right.
because at that point there was no knowledge that he was ever going to get rules. It was like, well, there's a hope that he might, but I used him as a demon sovereign last
Right.
edition,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and as a proxy for Carbander, as a big
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
scary
Yeah.
demon to lead the army kind of in a siege of terror type scenario. But it's crazy that they
Ah,
previewed these models and then have just not talked about them again. So
just
maybe Valentine's Day next 2026. Who knows?
2026, maybe 2027 if you're lucky. So what got you started into the World Eaters? What was it that attracted you to the mighty 12?
So I started back in 1999
Oh,
doing
okay.
Games Workshop, and played 40k.
Yeah.
And the old school computer game called Chaos Gate had come out, and really liked kind of chaos, so ended up going for kind of a chaos force. Really enjoyed, and went for World Eaters back then. So had Khan of Betrayer leading my army, and when it came to years later, I then kind of swapped into Thousand Suns in 40k, and as a project for myself, I was like, I want to test myself and kind of convert a load of things up. So I ended up doing a Heresy era army in 40k before the Black Books came out, for what is now the Horus Heresy, and converting kind of tactical Marine squads in costing kind of £100 for 10 guys, trying to find random bits. And then played Thousand Suns for first edition, and then always kind of loved Khorne. Had a Khorne demon army that I ran in Horus Heresy 1.0.
Right.
So the aim with them was, okay, well, I've got this Khorne demon army. I love collecting skulls, as every kind of person likes to do. So then we decided to kind of start a World Eaters army for kind of 2.0. Was then very sad that I couldn't run my demons with my World Eaters.
Right.
When they kind of then banned allies going together, but just kind of been building on them for 2.0 and 3.0, and I've added in kind of a load of Dark Mechanicum, finding that things like Blood Slaughterers and Decimators and my Brass Scorpion from 15 years ago that just been set aside shelves can now finally be used. And same kind of demons, just slowly kind of growing the army and finding lots of amazing sculpts, like all the different kind of helmets on the World Eaters, that just to make it kind of more interesting.
There's some great artwork to go off, isn't there, with the World Eaters? Yeah, no, it's funny. I ran World Eaters in first edition. I absolutely loved them. I always think of World Eaters players as like the orc players of old 40k, of just kind of, there's no, when I played them, there was no real tactics. It was like, as long as I get to smash you in the face, that's all I really care about.
Well, that's it. If I accidentally end up on an objective,
then
that's a surprise.
Yeah. I love that though. It's such a fun way to play though, isn't it? It's what I do miss my my World Eaters, of like, you could play the game and you could be kind of tactical, or you could just have fun and be like, you know what, I'm just going to smash you in the face. The amount of times I did things and people were like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, yeah. But you could win the game if you don't do that. It's like, yeah. But I could also just like solo Angron into that thing and just lose 100%. The game. I don't care.
I've got 2 tactical Marines that are on an objective scoring, but they do have the ability to charge that other 10-man Terminator squad. Oh, they're a World Eater.
You're making me want to do World Eaters again. Yeah, in fact, World Eaters was the first army I ever played, because when Rob incepted me into the Heresy, he was running World Eaters back in the very kind of pretty much the beginnings of first edition. Because I used to run a 40k. I played 40k. I had a White Scars army. Nice. And I would play my 40k White Scars against his World Eaters Horus Heresy, because obviously the rules were interchangeable back then. So yeah, Rob, one of his first armies was a World Eaters army. So they have a special place in the Heresy Hammer heart. But yeah, it's interesting. I just find them extremely fun to play. There's you don't worry so much about the tactical element, and more just kind of having fun, which I've got a lot of time.
I think that's it. It is. They are just super fun to do.
Yeah.
And therefore, it doesn't matter if you go to an event. If you're running in and charging stuff, you can lose horribly and still have enjoyable games.
A good game, yeah, and a thematic game,
yes, game. Very much so.
But yeah, so that's why we love the World Eaters. So for those that haven't seen any of these episodes, we do a deep dive into Legion. So we'll discuss a little bit about the lore and the background, and then we will take a look at the rules. So who are the World Eaters? I mean, essentially, they're just the angriest dudes in the galaxy, really, aren't they? I mean, Angron himself from the very start was a flawed Primarch due to the butcher's nails. I don't. Where do we start with the World Eaters? Where do we
I think
start?
that's the kind of the saddest thing of them, that they were a very kind of hard hitting, aggressive army when they were kind of in their inception back on Terra as the Warhounds,
Yeah,
with their aim of just basically doing the most kind of bloodiest fights and just fighting till the end. But Angron being very unlucky and kind of getting captured and thrown into slavery when he appears on New Syria to start with, and then getting to the point where he was so impressive in the gladiator pits that they basically kind of decide, let's shove these butcher nails into you because you're starting to kind of do a bit of an uprising, which he does anyway. But the fact that the Emperor doesn't go and defend and protect his
yeah,
body kind
yeah.
of really ruins Angron, and he even spends a few years kind of in isolation, running away from his own legion,
It's
hiding in a cave because he basically goes, well, I should have died back on the Syria with my slave buddies. The rest of you are all rubbish. So, sure, ram the butcher's nails into your own heads, but I still don't really like you. Which kind of slowly just makes the World Eaters go even more down a path that they just never get back from.
yeah, it's such a kind of Greek tragedy, isn't it? It
It
really
is
is.
very much so.
And the butcher's nails themselves is kind of alien technology, isn't it? No one really knows how they work. They just slam these things into Angron's skull, and yeah, he becomes
Yeah,
more
it's
and
kind of
more.
dark age technology found by these humans that had still been kind of using them, so that
Yeah.
even the kind of the most impressive tech priests and Malkador even try and work out how to get rid of them and
Well, yeah, they just can't, can they? If
go,
they try and take him
I
out,
don't think I can do anything with this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, the World Eaters Legion just starts copying it with kind of cheap rip-off versions.
Yes, to very varied degrees, especially a lot of the kind of talk about their librarians when they
Yeah,
have
just
the nails in
blowing up.
and literally whole sections of battleships blow up. The joys of the warp kind of mixing with these kind of
Yeah.
horrible things sticking into your brain. Not a good combination.
No, no. So it was kind of inevitable that the World Eaters were going to join Horus because Angron just fucking hated everyone and wanted a good fight, basically. But he
Yeah, and
especially
just
hated
really
the
hated his
Emperor.
dad after
Yeah.
kind of not allowing him to save his kind of buddies.
Which is kind of, there's a real kind of element of loyalty there, and it's one of the things that the Black Library novels does well. As even though Angron hates everyone, there's a real kind of brotherhood in the Legion, especially
Yeah.
in the earlier days, this kind of the Crusade and the earlier days of the Heresy. Obviously, the further down the eightfolded path they go, they just become fucking lunatics, don't they?
Exactly, but yeah,
But
especially during that kind of betrayer book where it talks about all the pit fighting and even the bonds they have with legionaries of other legions,
yeah,
that kind of where they get paired off with kind
in
of
the fighting
Sigismund and some of
pits,
the other
yeah,
kind of most impressive individuals from different legions. That you've got Argyle Tau and Khan obviously are
yes,
a
yeah.
great one, and that they basically decide that the best bonding is to bleed together in the pits, and if you can bleed together in the pits, you will fight the most impressively on the battlefield.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's yeah, yeah. And then we have the debacle of Istvan when Angron kind of shows just what a lunatic he is, and rather than sticking to the plan, just drops down onto the planet and drags out the fight. I just love the fact that throughout the books, it's usually just Angron doing really stupid shit because the nails have taken over and he just wants to fight.
Well, that's it. And kind of spoilers for anyone that's not read the most recent kind of book on about Istan 5, the Drop Site Massacre. Angron just gets really annoyed with Horus, going, why are we not telling the kind of the loyalist legions that we're gonna have a big fight when you get down to the bottom and there's going to be a trap? And he's all about, there should be like a kind of a fair fight, that we should just be honourable and doing this. And Horus going, no, enough of our legions are going to die when they come down. Like, we need to make them not aware that these other legions are coming down to then massacre them once they've already landed.
Although again, there's an element of honor there, isn't there? There's an element of these are my legionnaires. You know, they're all going to die, but at least they should die fairly. I do like the underlying, you know, of if he didn't have these things in his head, he'd have probably have been a really good Primarch. But actually, he was just flawed from the start, wasn't he? And
he's a very good kind of figurehead, not a kind of the tactical person that you want, kind of master planning everything.
No,
but someone to get behind as that kind of leader is.
If you need someone to punch a Warhound Titan, he's your guy.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's where we see kind of Khan stepping in as well, isn't it? As the kind of the voice of reason, if there can be such a thing in the Legion. I think most people will say that Khan is probably one of their favorite characters, if not one of the most favorite.
Yeah, Khan is definitely my favorite, with Latara being a very close second.
Yeah.
But you've got, I mean, obviously he's a great fighter. I love the fact that he's a bit rubbish in the fighting pits, because he's like, it's not a true fight.
He just doesn't
Therefore,
care.
He just laughs it off, and he's kind of like a bit rubbish with Argyle Tau paired together. And then when they get onto a battlefield, he just kind of goes mental. But he's also the only one that's sane enough to control the nails to an extent, and actually kind of give battlefield tactics and communicate with the fleet without just purely going full on kind of red mist mode.
Yeah, there's some really good bits in the books, isn't there, where he's kind of trying his hardest not to succumb to the nails, because he can see, you know, this attack is all going wrong, or something's going terribly wrong, because all his brothers have been lost to the nails and they're just charging forward, and then he manages to do something just before he slips into the red mist. I mean, if you're thinking of starting the World Eaters, I would highly recommend just picking up pretty much any Black Library book that involves the World Eaters.
Betrayer especially, I mean, is their main book, is just, and it's Aaron Densby Bowden that is just excellent.
It's so good. It's so good. And Khan is just such a fucking boss. So then, I mean, in fact, talking about Betrayer, that's all about Armatura, isn't it? It
starts with Armatura, taking out the Ultramarines,
and the ongoing Shadow Crusade, and then the Legion ends up going back to Nuceria, and Angron. Was it basically I'm trying to remember all this now. The planet had basically blamed Angron, hadn't it? It basically said Angron had run away, or
well, yeah. So Nuceria is the planet that he came from. Originally, was the slave pits, and when he was taken away, and they basically went into compliance with the Imperium, they didn't have like an Imperial person leading it. There's no kind of like Solar Auxiliary or Space Marine kind of. They basically got left alone, and it's close to the 500 worlds of Ultramar, but it is outside, which is why they kind of travel there. And when they eventually kind of turn up, they kind of drop pod back down to the planet, and the Nucerians are very confused about, are these people here to kind of as our salvation, or are they kind of attacking? What's happening? And when they eventually go in, the leader of the kind of the slavers basically kind of say, "Oh, you can't be Angron. He died. He ran away. He kind of hid." At that point, Angron's like, "I did not hide," and goes very kind of crazy and rips people in half, and basically just decides, "Yeah, let's just kill every single person on the planet."
The entire planet, and they do. They just murder.
They do very successfully, and then the Ultramarines turn up, which is very rude of them when they're about to destroy the last city. So the last city definitely gets destroyed as the word bearers, Ultramarines, and World Eaters all have a huge fight, including the Imperator Titan, that gets brought down onto the planet. So yeah, you don't want to be living in that city at that point. 3 legions might have a bit of a fight.
And this is where Lorgar's kind of all his plans come to fruition, and Angron becomes Demon Primarch, doesn't he? This is his ascension to demonhood.
Exactly. And I think they kind of realize, and Lorgar especially kind of realizes that the nails are killing him, and he's been getting worse and worse over kind of the centuries, even the years and the kind of the months during the fights with the Ultramarines. So, and it can't be removed. So he basically decides, well, if I turn you into a demon, then you'll live forever. And also that helps me kind of create the Ruinstorm.
Plus so I love demons.
Win-win. But I love the bit where you've got the kind of the older warhounds. You've got their one of their chapter masters, who's Lork, who's an ancient dreadnought, fighting kind of Lorgar, as well as basically all their librarians that are still around that don't ever get the nails because it messes up with their heads, that all turn into one giant kind of psychic entity to basically try and fight Lorgar to not push Angron into demonhood and try and fight for the Legion and their Primarch.
And it's a kind of interesting link into Khorne, isn't it? Because obviously Khorne hates Psykers, Angron kind of hates Psykers, even though they're all doing their best to protect him.
Exactly, they kind of have to get put to the sideline because it just gives everyone horrible migraines whenever a Psyker is nearby. So it's quite funny that you can still run librarians and things like that with our army, but they kind of, you might not want to be kind of buffing your own guys too much, as they don't like the feeling. But having a Psyker running around with a load of warp lightning blowing stuff up perfectly kind of fits the theme of the World Eaters.
Yeah, definitely. And then Kerry's final bit here is the Siege of Terra and the battle against Sangrenia. So there's quite a bit that goes on in Terra. I mean, the most interesting thing is kind of, even when Angron is on Terra, whilst the Emperor still has his kind of protections over the palace, because he's a demon, he can't really do a lot, can he? He's just kind of running around the outsides, snarling at everyone and trying to get into a fight, but he eventually has a scrap with Sanguinius, doesn't he?
He does, and I mean, Angron's nice and happy that he's just killing things, and it's the walls that the Emperor puts up stop him from getting kind of too close at different points, and he's just incredibly kind of angry. I think the start of the Siege of Terra in the very first book, where it's all the kind of fleet battles, Angron is literally standing on the prow of the Conqueror. As a giant demon, just being angry.
I mean, don't they? Oh, I'm trying to remember now. They isn't it Perturaba? They put him in some prison thing, don't they, for a while, just to trap him?
Yeah, as soon as kind of the Nuceria incident basically happens, obviously he then goes full on demon, and the only thing he cares about then is killing things. That they have to basically kind of cage him up and bring him onto the Conqueror. At which point the flagship slowly, the walls start turning to kind of flesh.
Oh yes, I remember.
And kind of skulls everywhere, and then he's like, "Oh yeah," to Khan, build me a throne of skulls going
Kills
full
all the
on
serfs and that, doesn't he? They just
corn.
kill
Yeah.
everyone who isn't a space marine to get the skulls. Yeah.
Yes. So it very quickly kind of divulges into a place that you very much do not want to be on that ship, and they basically just cage him up, and every so often dump him down onto a planet when they decide, yeah, we'll attack this planet now, because any part of the ship he goes into, the ship just gets destroyed by the warp and gets turned into
He's
flesh and skulls, and everything dies.
he's basically just a large version of Red Butchers, isn't he? I love the synergy
Yes,
there.
yeah.
But yeah, essentially, if you're new to World Eaters, they are just very angry dudes who, as the heresy goes on, they just get angrier and angrier and more lost to the nails. So
Exactly. And one thing I love about the World Eaters is the fact that because they go through such a transformation, that you've got so much ability to play them in very different styles.
yes,
And
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even just painting, you've got the kind of the gorgeous white and kind of blue there. You can
Yeah.
do some kind of warhounds if you want to do a bit more like a veteran squad, or paint up their first dreadnought, which is Lork, or if you want to go kind of more to the point where they're just fighting so much that their armor turns red with blood, and then kind of paint them a bit more kind of 40k-ish as you kind of slowly transition into the Siege of Terror.
Yeah.
And they do a variety. They love big heavy tanks that blow things up, and they obviously love kind of running in and charging. So it was a very, very large legion to start with, and they just have a very high attrition rate because they don't care about defending themselves, and they like throwing themselves in and dying a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, but they were never precious about where they recruited from, were they? They would just literally take a planet, snatch a load of people, recruit. Like, yeah, there was
Exactly. They don't have a home world
no,
because Angon is the only Primarch, I think, that basically failed to conquer his planet, or failed to kind
yes,
of
yes,
become. So New Syria doesn't get touched until they come back and destroy it. So they have their own forge worlds, where they kind of start making kind of demon engines and Sauron pattern kind of armor and helmets.
helmets.
And they then just collect from a variety of different planets, and so some of them are kind of Terrans, some of them are kind of from a variety of different places, and they all bond in the fighting pits, so they don't care where they come from.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's yeah, yeah. So I mean, that is kind of reflected in their rules. The World Eaters are one of the few legions that have two different legion rites of war. So one kind of reflecting the Great Crusade, early heresy, and then the second rite of war that is more late heresy. But all their kind of war gear and units available fit both of those rites of war. So let's get into the rules then. So for the early heresy Legion rules, you have the Legion Tactica, Violence Incarnate. When making a charge, any unit may add one attack until the end of that phase. And this is kind of huge nowadays, really, isn't it? Because you don't get any bonuses to your attacks. There's
It
no
does make
charge
a
bonus. There's
huge
no,
difference.
yeah,
I think, especially when you've got kind of like tactical and tactical, or despoiler on despoiler. I mean, tactical and tactical, you're literally doubling the amount of attacks, which
yeah,
then
yeah,
does
yeah,
make a
yeah,
huge difference. That even when you're both rubbish and you may not do too much, if you've got double the amount of attacks, if you kill one guy, that can easily be the difference between your line unit making theirs flee.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, one attack, but yeah, it really is because, like you say, you're doubling your output there. And it's just a nice, easy rule as well, isn't it? Just plus one attack.
That is the
Like,
other thing, is that kind of playing them last edition, they had kind of the different rite of wars. One of them being basically just, and they always got plus one attack, but some of those rite of wars were, you get the same thing all the time. It's just plus 2 inches to charging and running. Other ones
yeah,
were situational ones, can't speak today, always, I just forgot half the time. So just being like, oh yeah, +1 to charge, +1 attack,
Yeah.
super easy, you're going to remember it.
World Eaters players are simple creatures. Give us
Yeah,
simple rules.
exactly.
So the Legion Gambit, violent overkill. When this gambit is selected, there is no benefit to their focus roll, but if the enemy is killed, any remaining wounds are allocated to the unit. I mean, I feel like this could be huge at the right time. If you know you're going to win your combat, if your opponent's on like 1 wound or something, and you're just going to smash a load of wounds into it.
Especially if you've got kind of a combat monster
Yeah,
and they just like, oh, I will put forward this crappy Opte or kind of a Centurion with no upgrades. And you can get a lot of attacks, especially when you've got kind of prime benefits to give you more attacks, take
okay,
lightning claws.
yeah.
It adds up very quickly. So being able to spill over, and especially if it's just line units that they're with that you can just bleed through, it's very useful. I don't use it too often because a lot of the time you're against a very hard person that you in kind
Right.
of another combat monster quite often from
Yeah.
another legion. But if you are able to get into a weaker kind of bit, especially if you can get into their back lines and you're maybe fighting kind of a siege breaker or a basic centurion that's just there to buff to get them extra slots, it then
Yeah.
becomes really useful.
I feel like this would be really good against things like Mechanicum, where they probably don't have, particularly good combat characters. But it's just I think it's a nice little touch. You can
Yeah.
easily find yourself on your own against a squad in a combat, and even if you win the combat, you're then stuck in combat with
Yes.
a large squad. Whereas, yeah, you're just not wasting wounds essentially, are you? What's
I
it?
think that's it. And it's nice that I think there's some Legion ones that are like, well, actually, I'm just going to use this all the time because it's
Yeah.
really powerful. The fact that this is like, it's definitely good, and that it has a place and it's very kind of fits with the theme so well that it's nice to have that as an option in your toolkit. That if you just want to keep killing, if you know it's going to be an easy win, then it's great.
And it fits the fluff of the World Eaters as well,
So
doesn't it?
much.
Just just keep
Just kill more.
yeah, just kill them all. Yeah, yeah. So the Legion reaction, brutal tide. So once per game, during step 4 of the shooting phase, the reaction can be declared. The unit gains Eternal Warrior 1 for the rest of that phase. And then additionally, after casualties are removed, the unit may make a charge roll. If you make it into base to base, the unit is locked in combat. If the roll is not enough to reach base to base, then no move is made. I mean, this could potentially be. I feel like this is probably a slightly niche reaction. Like you need to be in the right position, is it?
You
Or
do need to be in the right position, but for example, once you've charged in, you've killed a unit, and then you consolidate forwards, and you're near the enemy army, it makes the enemy have to think about how they're going to
right?
deal with you because they know if I shoot one of your units, you can just charge me, and if you charge, and so therefore they've got to decide the order that they're going to shoot things because
Yeah.
if they
Okay.
shoot with a unit close up. So it can get units out of tricky scenarios, and the fact that you can get Eternal Warrior
I mean,
1,
just Eternal Warrior 1 is good, isn't it? Like you
oh, it's
would use this
amazing.
reaction just for Eternal Warrior 1. So the fact that you then get to charge on
Yeah,
top of that is huge.
and I don't believe because of the way that it's works, it's out of kind of order. That I don't believe you take a stun check. I think it just ends at that point. So you could be like, oh, I'm going to take the Eternal Warrior 1. I might not get maybe a 6-inch charge, but I'll have a go.
Oh, of course.
And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just don't
yeah.
move
No,
at,
yes. Yeah, yeah.
that point. But
Yeah.
and
And
I
you
mean, even if you did have to take the stun check, you're hopefully going to be fine enough to pass it anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, if you've got Terminators or Rampagers or any of the kind of specialist units, veteran breachers, this becomes so useful.
And you get your bonus to the combat if you make the charge, do you? You get the +1 to combat.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
+1, the wording for it is just if you make a charge move,
Okay.
and you then get disordered, which is different, which technically says a successful charge.
Right.
But the phrase successful charge appears in lots of other things. So, for example, it stops you getting impact abilities.
Right.
But
Okay.
the World Eater one does specifically just say if you make a charge
Make a
move, which is the
charge.
2d6 bit, which you get on a
Interesting.
disordered, because it's not the setup part of it, which is the same as been for the previous editions, where you got the +1 attack regardless of any scenario.
Nice. Cool. I like it. I like it a lot. And then you've got the unique detachment, which is the Berserker Cadre, auxiliary detachment, and the heavy assault must be filled by rampagers. But this is pretty good. Like you get a prime on your troop, you get two rampagers, and you get an elite's choice, which is, as
Yes.
Kerry's written, in an auxiliary detachment. That's pretty strong, really, isn't
It
it?
is. I pretty much every single time I've taken army, this is kind of going to be in there, or it's going to be like, oh, should I take this or not? Because as you said, the extra prime benefit of getting something on a line unit,
Mm,
you'll see kind of coming up in some of the lists, that having multiple line units with prime benefits can be kind of a little bit cheeky. The rampages are great units,
right.
and they're a lot of fun. But I've been taking things like veteran breacher units,
Yeah.
so therefore getting the elite slot that way, or just if you want to take any other elite units without having to take a apex detachment,
Mm,
is brilliant. And obviously you could just take this multiple times if you wanted to. If you've got a
yeah. Yeah.
centurion,
Yeah.
you could just, if you want lots of line units with all prime benefits, you could just take this.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome, really, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I would do it if you wanted to
So if you
take
want a
any.
very malefic kind of, if you want to go like full Siege of Terror force, where
Okay.
you've got all your line units so basically gone full butcher's nails, we don't care about
Yeah.
anything more. You could basically go, yeah, they've all got malefic because they just don't care anymore,
Yeah.
and they're just mental people. And then I can have a load of rampagers, and red butchers as well are elites, not
Yes.
the Terminator kind of symbol,
Yeah. Heavy
strangely.
assault. Yeah. Yeah.
So it means that you can fill in all of their specialist units in one go, which is lovely.
Yeah. And like you say, it's an auxiliary detachment. That's huge. Cool. So now we have the Legiones Hereticus. So this is the kind of late heresy Legion rules. So Legion Tactica, the nails bite. I mean, immediately I love it.
Yeah,
When a unit fails a leadership check, they may choose to become lost to the nails. So they remove any tactical statuses they have, and then they gain +1 inch to any setup moves, +1 attack. Leadership, cool, and willpower count as 10 unless it is higher. And if at the start of the charge phase there are any enemy units within 12 inches, they must attempt to charge that unit. And if you're kind of an equal distance from two enemy units, you get to choose basically, don't you?
yeah.
At the end of the control player's charge sub phase, if there are no enemies within 12 inches, they are no longer lost to the nails. Like, I have to say, just I love the fluff of this. Like, I love the fact that they failed a leadership check, so then they just lose their fucking minds. But
Hmm.
then if there's no one to punch, then they kind of come back again. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
oh
calm
fuck,
down for a
yeah,
bit. They
okay.
kind of, the heart rate settles. They're like, oh, what should I do? Okay, I'll carry on moving. But if you're running full into the middle of the enemy force, the chance of you not be within 12 inches of a tank, a random unit,
Yeah, and
um,
things move so fast in third edition, don't they?
very much.
So fast, especially when you can just throw everything in rhinos nowadays. It is, yeah, it's rare that you're not going to be close to an
Well,
enemy.
that's it. If you're a Wild Eater force, if you're not in the enemy deployment after turn
You're
one,
doing it
then you're
wrong.
playing a game
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah, 100%. How have you, do you run this? Have you found it any good or
So I don't run
no?
this. The other one, the advantage is you just remember the whole time. You just got +1 attack.
Yeah.
Unlike this, which doesn't have that as default, you've got to get this off.
Oh,
The problem with
yes, of
this
course. Yeah, yeah.
is it's a bit tricky to do. The bonuses you get from it are fantastic,
Yeah.
but failing a leadership check doesn't actually happen very often because most things are cool
Yeah.
checks. So stun, pit, and kind of all of those bits, you're taking cool checks to remove your status. So
Yeah.
you can give this to units
Yes.
when you charge, but it takes a reaction point.
Yeah.
So you need to have reaction points available to you, and then you're not using them to return fire or move when enemies come towards you.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit tricky to do,
Okay.
but it's very powerful. I did have at the last event I went to a couple of weeks ago. There was too many traitors, and we actually ended up. I was paired with Kerry, and
That guy.
I know, stuck with him. Always. Then, but the people we were playing against had a World Eater force, and they were using this Rite of War just to kind of see what it was a bit like to compare the two World Eater forces that were fighting, because they had a bit more of a late siege style army.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've got to be using the reaction points to do them, it was just a bit more tricky to use and go through, instead of just nice and simple. And some of the other abilities you don't then get the challenge bonus that you got for the other one.
Okay.
So, and you don't get the charge if they shoot you, because that's part of the standard one, their special reaction, which they can use multiple times instead of once per only, is I'm going to become lost to the nails and get all these benefits.
Right. Well, let's look at that now then, shall we? So the Legion Gambit, brutal dismemberment. If the enemy model is removed as a casualty, then the World Eater player gains an additional 2 combat resolution. I mean, I like that. I don't. This isn't amazing, but combat resolution can literally win a fight.
Yeah, so that does mean
so.
One character could basically win the fight, and the rest of the whatever happens doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter, yeah.
Especially if you've got quite a low model count type force in combat, like a load of Terminators, where they're not going to give away combat res for having lots of models dying.
Yeah.
If an enemy has 4 wounds and you're getting 6 combat res for this, I think a lot of the time you're probably going to be taking things like Flurry of Blows, or the one that gives you +1 strength.
I feel like these
damage.
Legion Gambits are the wrong way round. I feel like this should be the one where he goes berserk and just keeps killing everyone else in
potentially. Yeah.
Like, it feels a little lackluster compared to the previous one. But I don't hate it, but it feels a little bit boring. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's a bit kind of basic and simple. You're unlikely to realistically take this. There might be the odd scenario, or just because you're a World Eater, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to do the World Eater cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Oh well. And then the Legion reaction, Furious Charge. So this reaction is declared at step 4 of the charge and can only be used by a unit that takes any casualties in the volley step. So this is the thing here, isn't it? You have to take casualties in the volley step. The World Eater unit becomes lost to the nails and must immediately roll a charge dice. If they make the charge, then they counter successfully charging. If they fail the charge, then the enemy makes their charge move. So yeah, I mean, again, if I was playing a late Heresy World Eaters, and
not going to shoot you.
I'm just not going to do my volley shots, and
that's the thing, and it just means that you can basically ignore their ability, which is not really then are particularly effective. And the fact that then it costs a reaction point to use.
Yeah.
I just like +1 attack the whole time. I'm hopefully not going to be. I mean, a lot of the time I'm using transports to get across the board, so I'm not really got a status on me anyway.
Yeah.
So, and if you take kind of voxes and other things, you can get rid of those statuses reasonably easily.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways of getting around it, isn't there? Yeah.
It's a cool theme for sure, and it fits the World Eaters so perfectly. But I think out of the two, if you want an easier way of playing a game, just having +1 attack the whole time is just easy to remember, and it fits any part of the heresy.
Yeah.
If you want to go, let's just go full crazy berserker people, then this is a good fun thing to use. It's maybe not as easy or as effective to use the other one, but I'm sure there are certain scenarios where you end up kind of getting routed, and you're like, no, I'm going to go to loose the nails, and then I'm going to start charging you.
I mean, it is pretty powerful because you're essentially just never being routed, are you? Like, as soon as you're routed, you're like, well, no. But until you're routed, you are just a normal dude. Yeah.
And that's it. If you get pinned, if you get kind of stunned, you're just
and that's
like,
the thing, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I'm still just...
I can't go crazy if I'm kind of slightly pinned down.
Yeah, yeah.
I can only go crazy if I'm running away.
And then their unique detachment, Sons of a Bot. So this is again an auxiliary detachment. 2 support slots and 3 kind of normal troop slots. The supports must be apothecaries. Apothecaries as specialists do not have a lot of options for prime upgrades. So Kerry's written here, this formation is basically written specifically for Inducti and the Butcher Surgeon Prime advantage. And yeah, it does kind of feel that way. We will talk about the Butcher Surgeon Prime advantage.
Yeah, and it fits their fluff. They loved having kind of Inducti. They were one of the first legions that actually got rules for Inducti.
Yeah.
But it's not the most effective. The weird thing about the 2 Hereticus and the kind of the standard kind of Rite of War is it just says an army that has a prime detachment with the World Eater faction may select from the following detachment, which in theory means you could take them from either of the pages.
Right,
most people generally will go, well, it's on one double page.
Yeah.
So therefore it makes sense that this is purely for Hereticus.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally wouldn't take. I feel like that's their plan. I mean, if someone wanted to use one of these in the with a standard Legion Astartes thing, I personally wouldn't care too much. It's not particularly powerful.
No.
With the exact wording, but I think that's obviously the assumed assumption for it.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, we shall talk about Inducti and the Butcher Surgeon Prime advantage in a bit. Like you say, I do like the fluff of this. I like the I mean we hear it a lot in the in a lot of the stories of, worlds that have just, the World Eaters have come along and been like, you are now all World Eaters, and just done their Inducti program because they just didn't care. They just wanted dudes, didn't they?
Yeah, they have such a high casualty rate because they don't care about dying themselves. They're like, cool, we need flesh. So you're a person? Amazing. You are now a World Eater.
So I do kind of like that, but yeah, it's certainly not as good as the other one, is it? It doesn't.
No, and especially comparing it to other legions, it's very kind of meh.
Yeah.
Level.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Let us know. Let us know if you've had any luck with the late Heresy World Eater rules. But it does feel niche, is the word I would use.
That's it. It's kind of certain situations, I'm sure, can be absolutely amazing. But you want a scenario where you're just getting it all the time, it's easy to run. And as you said earlier, we're World Eater players. We're simple folk. We don't want to have to be counting things like reaction points and whether or not we're getting shot. We just want to get +1 attack.
Just want to punch you in the face. That's all we want to do. So, the Legion Armory, so the cadre weapons. So the legacies allows these to be taken by command, champion, sergeant, or specialist models, but in the actual Libra, it's essentially cadre weapons comes on the unit, doesn't it? So like Rampagers comes with
Yeah, so
cadre weapons.
yeah, the book basically kind of the cadre weapons are just on the rampages, but it's
Yeah,
nice that you've got the option to take them. It is a bit of a problem putting them on the other kind of choices. Like I've done it a few times just because it's
right.
cool when I've got the models, but you've got to pay for a power weapon, so that's 10 points,
And then pay
and then
for
it's
an
a 10
upgrade.
point upgrade.
Yeah.
So you're paying 20 points for something that is basically just the equivalent of a power weapon, maybe a little bit better. But I mean, paired phalanx blades, awesome. But a lightning claw does exactly the same and has benefits to it. So if
Yeah.
you've got a pair of lightning claws, it's actually better. And other kind of things are slight different variations, but the fact they cost 20 points for a command or a sergeant to have it is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, unfortunately, that's just a legacies thing, really, isn't
It
it?
is, and that's across all the legions, kind of pretty much
Yeah.
very, very similar for people. It's cool, and if you've got them modelled, then
At least you can use
it's
them.
nice
Yeah.
that you've got that option to take, and it's not the
Yeah.
most expensive. If you're in challenges, that's where you're going to struggle. I ran one of their it will come up in one of my lists. My commander with a meteor hammer,
Right.
and in combat, if you're in a challenge and you've got an AP3 weapon, you're
Yeah.
basically not killing things
Yeah. Yeah.
because everything's got a 2-up save.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. Great against tax squad, not so great
Amazing. Yeah.
against a 2+ save. Yeah. Interesting. So there's four cadre weapons you can choose from. The meteor hammer. Is base initiative attacks. So -1 attack, +2 strength, AP3 damage 2, and impact initiative. Excoriator chain axe. I think these are probably one of the coolest looking weapons in the heresy.
They're very cool. Huge
Initiative,
two-handed, kind of
just a
very worldy tree.
massive chain axe, isn't it? So -2 initiative, taxes base, +2 strength, AP3 damage 1, breaching 6+, shred 6+, paired phalanx blades, which were the flavor of second edition.
They were.
Initiative base, +2 attacks, strength base, AP3 damage 1. I would say they're probably still pretty.
They're very good, and if you want to just have especially a small squad with these and dump them out of a rhino and go after line units, amazing, because they're just
Yeah,
going to have so many attacks. That means they're getting 3 extra attacks on the charge.
that's crazy, isn't it? That is
So
insane.
you can't deal with, unlike the kind of the glory days where they were just horrific with 4+ rending in the last edition.
Yeah, I mean they need a
They're now sensible.
Yeah,
And kind of fair. So it's nice that in the last edition they were just the best choice, basically.
yeah,
And now actually all of these have a place, and it depends on what you're doing. And having a sprinkling of each of these is actually fair and decent depending on what you're going after.
yeah, and that's good, isn't it? That's what you want. You want
Yeah.
to have a choice and not just have an obvious choice. And then the last one is the barb hook lash, which is +1 initiative, taxes strength as base, AP3 damage 1, critical hit 6+, and phage strength, which is you don't see that a lot, do you? That's
No, so -1 strength is huge,
yeah,
especially as it's
at
+1 initiative.
yeah,
So that means they're going in initiative 5,
yeah,
and then the step below, which is where most people are,
yeah,
4, they're -1 strength. So sticking in 1 or 2 of these in your unit just to make sure that the enemy then gets -1 strength against you. I mean, even if you took all kind of the barbed hooked lash, just to make sure that you are
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
that
yeah, 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 yeah,
phage off. And they're still AP3, they're still great, but
yeah.
I'd probably just put a couple of these in a squad. The Phalanx Blades can then just muller stuff with their extra attacks,
Yeah,
but
that's it's
it's very
pretty good
useful.
though, isn't it? And then yeah, yeah, I like that. I do like that a lot.
So this could
Biopercolation.
be, if you wanted a kind of a bit more flavour, it's quite a nice, interesting thing that could be given on a sergeant if you're trying to go after line units or
Right.
things that, um, if you want to make them -1 strength.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it? I mean, yeah, a normal tack squad is putting out fuck all damage anyways, and if you make them -1 strength,
Exactly.
yeah, okay, okay, I like that. Yeah, this is great actually. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these. And then you have the blades of the fighting pits. So any model with a chainsword may swap it for a chain axe for free. But chain axes, they've had a bit of a nerf this edition,
They
haven't
have,
they?
sadly. The -1 to initiative is
It's
what just really hurts them.
it's really
Um,
bad, isn't it? So for those that don't know, a chain axe is -1 initiative, attacks as base, +1 strength, AP5, damage 1, shred 6 plus. So chain axes forever have always just been like a kind of +1 to strength, really, weren't they? And now they're
yeah, just
-1
+1 strength, and that's
initiative. Yeah, it's a shame. I guess they
and that's I
kind of
think
go on. Sorry.
I think kind of especially running these in especially early kind of games where I had 10-man despoiler squad charge into a tactical squad or a despoiler squad, and you're like, oh well, I've got 2 attacks base and I've got 3 attacks because I'm charging as a world eater. Amazing, I should win this just on weight of numbers.
Yeah.
But -1 initiative means you're losing a load of guys before you get to attack.
Yeah.
So and then you're still not doing much, and even a 3-up save is good enough to stop a lot of these that you don't actually do much with them. It's super cool, and I think if you wanted to be kind of um, like actually keeping chain swords is not a bad choice. I mean, but as a world eater player, I'm like, every guy's got a chain axe if they can,
Yeah,
because I'm a
you
world
can't,
eater.
yeah. I mean,
That
this
is
is
their legion weapon.
yeah, this is where I actually quite like the barb hook lash on a sergeant. So you're
Hmm.
hoping, you make your dudes more survivable by weakening the enemy, so that you can survive more chance to survive in their attacks. So then when you finally get to punch back, you've got more dudes alive. But I guess that all relies on getting the phage off. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Like it's a strange one. I guess they kind of they've tried making all the weapons kind of nothing stand out really, isn't it? Is what they're going for, and by just having
Yeah, and it's nice
+1
that
strength, it's a bit
everything
of a
has a
standout.
has a purpose. Like the meteor
Yeah,
hammer, less attacks, but damage 2, pretty useful.
yeah.
The big
Interesting.
chain axe, I think, is the least personally
And I feel like it has
useful.
been every single edition. I feel like it's never been particularly good. They've never really got that one quite right, have
It
they?
is. I mean, it's the only one that's got breaching. So it's the only thing that can deal with things that are AP, that have got 2-up save.
Yeah.
But you're just not going to likely get it off.
No, that's the trouble,
Um,
isn't it? You're going -2 initiative. You put it on a normal, if you've got a dude with 2 attacks, you're getting 3 attacks. Like you probably the chances of getting breach and 6+ off are highly unlikely, aren't they?
exactly. They look cool, and I've got a couple of them that I still kind of will. I'll normally put like 2 maybe in a big squad, and
Yeah.
they'll probably be the first guys that come off the board.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, I much prefer to strike earlier and get more attacks and just hope you roll ones.
Yeah, I would do exactly the same because they do look cool as fuck. So the Legion Prime Advantage, chain bonded, may only be selected once per army for a prime command slot. When selected, in addition to the command slot, you must select a single model in any other World Eater unit. These 2 models count as chain bonded. If the two models are in coherency with one another, they both gain +1 to hit in combat. If one model is in a challenge, they still count as coherency. I absolutely love this. Like, I just think
It,
it's so cool. Like, I want to see
it is
someone
super
actually.
themey and very cool. There, I will kind of point out one thing that, and it's always fun to point out where Kerry's made mistakes in this.
Go
That
on. Go on.
you've got to. It specifically says, and I've got it in front of me. The player must select another unit which only has the World Eater trait that has the command battlefield role. That's not a high command battlefield
Oh,
role.
sorry. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do Praetor, and the really sad thing is you can't do it to Khan, because Khan is also high command. Which is
Yes. Okay.
most World Eaters' default thing, which was my thing straight away. You can hear my cat crying in the background going, I want to come in and annoy you. But in this scenario, that you can't have Khan come in and get all those benefits to get the +1.
Okay.
The other thing that I mean, what I've done, and I've got it in one of my lists as a fun thing to do, is because obviously as a world eater you want to also take the other prime benefit to make you really kind of give you the +1 weapon skill, the +1 attack as Paragon of Battle.
Yeah.
You can't then take both normally, because you're obviously going to get one prime benefit.
Yeah. Interesting.
But what you can do is take a cheap Praetor and then take an Apex detachment of another command slot one, where you get a second then prime benefit, and then you can have one person with Paragon of Battle and one person with chain bonded. So that means you can give the Paragon of Battle person the +1 to hit.
Right. Okay.
You can have crazy high weapon skill and +1 to hit on top of that.
I mean, +1 to hit is pretty huge, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you can be hitting Praetors on 2s.
Yeah.
Which is, if you give it to like a champion who's got Paragon of Battle.
Interesting. Yeah, so you can kind of do it. You just have to bastardize it. The trouble is, you're using an Apex detachment to do that, then, aren't you?
Very much so.
But I just love the fluff of it. Like, I just think it's so cool. Like, I just think that's brilliant. And like I say,
and
like,
it fits the fluff. And even if you just take it on 2 normal guys, +1 to hit is still
great,
very, very powerful in this edition. When you've got less amount of attacks and you want to hit, when you want to get that Thunder Hammer off, it can be game changing.
Yeah, no, I do like this. I like it a lot. And this was the prime advantage that we kind of mentioned earlier. This is a bit of a weird one. It came out with the inducti rules, didn't it? So this is the Butcher Surgeon. So it may only be selected by an apothecary unit, which, if you think back to the late Heresy Apex detachment, auxiliary detachment, you could give both apothecary units a prime advantage. So that's where this kind of comes in, isn't it? So you gain.
So if you want to take a couple of these, then that is very useful.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. So you gain the Ravening Madmen rule and the Exaltation of Butchery. So Ravening Madmen essentially means enemies hit you on 3+, unless they would normally hit on a 2+. So it's basically easier to hit you. An Exaltation of Butchery. At the start of the charge subphase, any unit with a model of this rule may choose to become lost to the nails. So this is your way of kind of not... this is your way of getting lost to the nails on dudes without having to fail leadership checks, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It's the problem with this is the fact that you can't then, because you get Ravening Madman, you can't then attach it to someone that's got a Despoiler squad or a Rampager squad, because they can only go with Ravening Madman. So that means you can go with Inducti. So if you want to do a cool Inducti force with a load of these guys, because obviously if you could also take the Apothecary detachment that's got another prime bit. So you can have, in theory, quite easily 3 units, or you can just take that Apex the auxiliary detachment multiple times.
Yeah.
If you want to do an inducti force, very cool. But what you can do is you can attach them to red butchers. And because red butchers have ravening madmen,
Yeah.
and what you can do, which I've got in one of the lists to kind of show, is that you can take the non-late, the early heresy list where you get +1 attack, and then add these to red butchers, and that means they get +1 attack because they're charging, and they can turn on this ability to get the +1 extra attack.
Yeah.
And all the other bollocks as well. So it means that you can get +2 attacks on top of what you've already got. So, but it's just so random that this got added into the inducti thing. And if they just said, "Oh, it just gets added to the it's just for inducti only," then you wouldn't be able to abuse it with the red butchers. But realistically, it's the only thing that's really worth having them.
Yeah, and I think that was the intention, wasn't it? I think the intention is this is just used for an inducti, but obviously intention and rules as written are two completely different things.
It's problems when you've got kind of hundreds and hundreds of pages of rules. You're going to miss a loophole somewhere.
Although I'm not mad. Like, if I was playing against that, I'm not mad at red butchers.
No, and it kind of makes sense if you have kind of basically a dude that is controlling the guys that get locked up in the bows of their battleships and caged up until they get dumped on the planet, and then basically allow them to go even more crazy.
Yeah, I like that.
Going. It does still fit the fluff very well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a strange one. It is very strange. But yeah, essentially, this is how you switch on your Lost to the Nails if you want to spend. Well, I mean, so yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's not even the extra reaction one.
No. This is just a thing. Isn't
it means you don't have to worry about your reaction points because it's just an ability that the apothecary has to do, which is again really strange. But it's very cool and it fits them very well. It's just an odd place that it appears in the inducti PDF.
It is. Yeah. Agreed. Right, that's it. We're into the Legion units. We are flying through. So the Red Butchers. Oh man, I mean these models now are a little bit dated. They're a little bit small, aren't they? But they are so fucking cool. I remember going to. I can't remember what I went to. I can't think if it was a weekend or I think it was a Warhammer day or something, and they had. One of the designers in his notebook there, and it had all the designs for the original designs for like the Red Butchers, the heads and that. Oh man, they're so cool. They
are gorgeous.
These are great models.
And the great thing like that artwork is that there are multiple people that have kind of made some amazing sculpts that are then kind of more sizable. That fits their what they should be instead of kind of something that was created. Same with the Rampagers right at the early part of the inception of the heresy. So with the scale creep over a decade, that
they are teeny tiny.
They look a little bit kind of weedy.
Yeah, so the Red Butchers are an elite slot, which, like I mentioned before, is a little bit strange. I was expecting these to be heavy assault, and in fact, I think when Kerry wrote this, he actually just wrote it down as heavy assault because you just kind of presume.
That is your assumption. It's like they are the classic Terminator, but no, they're elites.
So 250 points for a unit of 4 Butchers and 1 Devoured, 45 points for each additional model, and you can take up to 10. They are infantry of the heavy subtype type. And their stats are movement 6, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill strength 4, toughness 5, 2 wounds, initiative 4. The Red Butchers come with 2 attacks each, and the Devoured comes with 3 attacks each. They are, excuse me, I keep burping. They are leadership 12, cool 10, willpower 6, intelligence 4. These are not the cleverest of dudes, and they have a 2+4+ save. The special rules are bulky 2, slow and purposeful, heedless, eternal warrior 1, ravening madmen, which we've mentioned before. When a unit attacks you, you're counted as weapon skill 3. and no models can join your unit without that special rule. They come equipped with Butcher power axes, and the Devoured may swap his power axes for Butcher chain fists. And the legacy rules allow models to swap the axes for a combi bolter and power axe, and or a pair of lightning claws. And the Devoured may also swap for power fist, chain fist, or thunder hammer. And then just quickly, so the weapons, Butcher's power axes are initiative -1, attacks +1, strength +1, AP 3, damage 1, breaching 4+. And the Butcher's chain fist is initiative -3, attacks as base, +4 strength, AP 2, damage 3, shred 6+, and armor bane. So these guys are very different to how I ran these guys in first edition. In first edition, these guys were like 5 attacks each on the charge. Obviously, all the power axes were AP2. How are they in third edition? Do they still hit like a fucking freight train?
They can hit very hard.
Yeah.
I used to take them quite often as a small 5-man squad in second edition.
Yeah.
Because they're just tough to kind of deal with. The Eternal Warrior, I've played against these.
Right.
And I've got them in one of my lists, but I haven't used them. But the fact they get Eternal Warrior is a pain in the arse to deal with them, simply. Because you go like, I'll fire my big autocannon squad at them. Oh, great. I'm doing 1 wound against you and things like that. But as you said, like, they used to have 5 attacks in first edition. Well, they've got 2 attacks basic. If you take the standard axes, that's 3 attacks.
Yeah.
The standard ability is +1 attack on the charge. That's 4 attacks.
Yeah,
if you take an apothecary with the other ability, that's 5 attacks on the charge.
Yeah.
If you swap them to lightning claws, that's 6 attacks on the charge.
Yeah, lightning claws is an interesting one, isn't it?
So
that's very valid.
I've got a squad which has got all lightning claws,
right.
And a thunder hammer on the sergeant, but I can do 5 lots of just lightning claws with these guys, because I would quite often just dump them near an objective, and that's kind of how I would basically run these: is take a land raider, or a dreadclaw, potentially cheap, and just dump them somewhere.
Yeah.
They can't score, and they don't have
heedless,
Vanguard, so they're not scoring things, but they are incredibly hard to shift. And if an enemy wants to get that objective, they've got to deal with them.
Yes.
It's simply the scenario for them. So you're not getting kind of Vanguard and lots of points for them, but they are killing things, and they are hard to move, because they are Counterfactory Terminators. The toughness 5, they've got great saves, and they can deal with things. I personally would just take a small squad, because I don't want you spending too much points. They are expensive.
Yeah.
And they're there to kind of just take out basic troops and stop people scoring objectives is how I would use them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Eternal 1 is huge. Eternal Warrior 1.
Yeah.
They've almost, I think, even back in first edition, they had the Ravening Madmen rule, and it does fucking kill you. Like if you come up against, I mean, essentially anyone is hitting you on freeze.
And sadly, you used to be able to have Angron could join Ravening Madmen, so you could have Angron with Red Butchers, but Angron doesn't have it anymore. So these guys can't be joined by. And you also, in like the last edition, you could pay 10 points to give a HQ Ravening Madmen and +1 attack as like a berserker character,
right?
Which I would kind of regularly do, but that's not an option anymore, even in the legacies.
Okay.
So it means that they are stuck by themselves apart from the apothecary. But the apothecary does mean they have a lot of attacks.
Yeah. I like it.
So
I mean, that's what they're there for, isn't it? Like you say,
exactly.
They're not scoring, they're not
like a cheap standard land raider got you can fit 5 of these and the apothecary in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Dump them down. You're gonna kill most things that you kind of run into, and even if you don't, they're not going to probably get rid of you. Even like thunder hammers and power fists hitting you in combat, Eternal Warrior 1 just means you're not moving.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. I just love the fluff of these guys. I mean, for those that don't know, the Red Butchers are basically Marines that have completely fallen to the nails, and they are so batshit crazy they will kill anyone. So they basically get chained up on their ships, don't they? They're just held in a box, chained up, like screaming into the ether. Until such time that they're needed to kill things, and then they're just thrown out and let off the leash.
Basically, yeah.
It's just awesome, like just mindless killers in Terminator armor. Like what's
Exactly
with double power axes. Like it's so cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they sounds like they're throwing out some damage still, which is...
They definitely have a place. I personally wouldn't take any more than 5. Like I have played against a bigger squad, but you've got the problem that you are slow because you're a Terminator, so you're not like running around. So I feel like 10 is a bit too much of a point sink.
Yeah, that is the trouble.
I mean, if you wanted to have 2 5-man squads, it would be a lot better than just a 10-man squad. Because you're not going to shift them easily. So
you just need a delivery method, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And then up next, Rampagers, who bizarrely take up a heavy assault slot. I just don't really... I feel like they've got them the wrong way round, but...
yes.
Who knows? So the Rampagers is 135 points for a unit of 4 and a champion. You can take up to an additional 10 Rampagers for 22 points each. Stats, they are movement 7, weapon skill 5, ballistic strength toughness 4, 2 wounds each. Initiative 4, Rampagers are 2 attacks each and the champion is 3 attacks each. Rampagers are leadership 8 and the champion is leadership 9. And then cool is 8, willpower and intelligence is 7, and they come with a 3+ save. They have the impact strength special rules Vanguard 3. And they can choose weapons from the cadre weapons that we talked about earlier on. Legacies allows them to take bolt pistols for free, and the champion may also take a plasma pistol or swap its cadre weapon for a pair of lightning claws or a power fist. Have you run these guys? How have you found these guys?
Yeah, I use these quite regularly because, I mean, they just scream to me world eaters. They are literally kind of they're what turns into kind of corn berserkers if you get into 40k. But these are your kind of full on power hitters that are in power armor for them, and they're great. I mean, if you think that a cadre weapon is actually 20 points, they're 2 points each. That's super cheap.
Yeah. yeah.
But the fact that they've got those kind of they're decent power weapons is that if as long as you're hitting things that are not in 2-up armor saves, you're just going to win. It's that simple. You get +1 strength when you charge. Importantly, impact you don't get if you're disordered. So that means if you have these guys coming out of a rhino charging, you won't get their impact +1 strength. You are doing a charge move, so therefore you will get +1 attack if you take the normal one. But because disordered is successful charge, which is the same statement that impact has, you won't get that bit. But they're great for Vanguard, although Vanguard is obviously quite tricky to kind of get off. Although, because the fact that you've got the if you shoot me I can charge you ability, if an enemy has walked off an objective when I've moved forwards and then have walked back onto it to score an objective, if they're then silly enough to shoot you, you could charge in and get the kill then. And quite often, if you're the way the world eaters generally work is that you're pushing your enemy so far back that if they want to be scoring anything, you might get this off the odd time, or you're just killing things, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, the fact they get the cadre weapons for free, is great, and a variety of different
huge.
weapons is brilliant. I quite like the lightning claws on my sergeant. He's getting 5 attacks base.
Yeah.
And the lightning claws then can actually hurt things that are 2-up armor saves. Power Fist again is a very good choice as well, just because that is their big weakness, is that a few times I've tried to charge them into Terminators just to see what they will do, and they just bounce off because you don't have breaching or AP2 available to you, and then because you've only got 3-up armor save, you're just going to get squelched back. So it's definitely charging them into the right units, and potentially small units. I quite like the idea, and I'm going to do this in a few upcoming lists, is 5 guys with just the phalanx blades for +2 attacks in a rhino, run forward, dump out, take out line unit. If you're on objective, amazing. If you're not, I'm just taking your line units out.
Oh, that's so fucking cool. See, I was thinking the opposite. I mean, that is a great idea, but I love the idea. And me and Rob were discussing this before, of a big unit of 15 of these dudes in a Spartan, and just shove it straight down your opponent's throat. Stick a champion or something in there.
In one of the lists coming up, I've got a 5-man one that's going to go in a rhino.
Yeah.
And I've got the big one with Khan in a Spartan.
Yeah.
Or it might be a Land Raider.
Oh,
but
God,
yeah, so I
cool.
Normally I do run them as a big squad with a big character in there, because then the character can at least deal with Terminators, or Khan can deal with Terminators. And then the rest of the squad is just doing a lot of attacks, and your weapon skill 5, so you're going to be just causing a lot of saves, which is great. But I think a small squad, sadly, and I was lucky that I'd pinned my jump packs onto my guys so that I could swap them either.
Of course,
these are one of the units that got heavily hurt with the rule changes to 3.0, because there are some gorgeous armies out there which have all got jump pack rampages. So now you do need a mode of transport. You need a Rhino, a Land Raider Spartan, or Dreadclaws are quite good, I think, in this edition. But you don't want to be just walking across the board, because with a 3-up save, you're not got the ability to tank stuff. Putting apothecaries with these guys is definitely worth it, because they've got the 2 wounds. So the medic
2 wounds is good. Yeah, it is good. Like, if your opponent has the right weapons to kill 3+, then you're screwed. But 2 wounds, I found with my veteran attack marines, like, they're actually surprisingly hardy with the 2 wounds.
Yeah, they do stay around for sure, but they just need a delivery system. But luckily, the delivery systems are so quick that you're going to be getting first turn charges, or at least second turn charges all the time.
This is definitely a place for a Rhino rush, isn't it? Like, brilliant. Love it. Right, so the Inducti. So 100 points for 10 Inducti, may include an additional 10 for 9 points each. The stats are movement 7, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 4, 1 wound each, initiative 4, 2 attacks each, leadership and cool 7, willpower and intelligence 6, and they come with a 3+ save. Their special rules are impact toughness. That is very interesting. Heedless, Vanguard 3, ravening madmen, and they obviously have the Inducti special rule. Come equipped with bolt pistol and chainsword. This was a weird one. Any model can swap to a heavy chain axe for +5 points, and then 1 in 4 may swap for a heavy chainsword for 5 points. Or so 1 in 4 can swap their chainsword for a power weapon or Chernobyl saber. And 1 in 4 may also swap their bolt pistol for a Legion pistol. I
mean, if you're buying pistols for them, I think you're going wrong straight away. But I mean, these guys have got some great modelling opportunities and options. and the impact toughness is crazy cool.
Yeah,
Plus one
that's an
toughness when you
interesting one, isn't
charge,
it? Yeah.
as long as it's not disordered, because that would get rid of the impact ability. So you couldn't do that out of a Rhino, sadly. So you'd have to buy them
Interesting.
something
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, these definitely have a place. And the Vanguard is definitely useful, but I feel that taking just despoilers realistically is what I'm going to do, because I could add a character if I ever needed to them.
Yeah.
And because they've got Ravening Madman, you're really kind of stuck. The fact that it's 1 in 4 for power weapons and things like that instead of 1 in 5.
Yeah.
But if you're just taking a 10-man squad, you're still only getting 2 power weapons in there, and you can't do some of the kind of nice tricks that you can do with despoilers, which you'll see on some of the lists coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, the impact toughness gets around the -1 initiative with the chain axes. So you could just
Yeah,
give these guys chain swords and you're still getting the benefits, or you could give them chain axes and be fucking toughness 6 on the charge. Yeah, I quite like it. It seems to be a recurring theme of Heedless and Vanguard, or just not scoring at all, which I don't hate. Like, it feels very World Eaters to me.
yeah,
Like,
they fit perfectly with the fluff, and you could do some really cool kind of modeling and different opportunities with these. I think I mean, the game comes down to getting line points basically. So the fact they
at the
don't have
minute,
line,
yeah,
I wouldn't take too many of these squads, but
yeah,
definitely 1 or 2 of these squads. If you take that the auxiliary kind of detachment and you stick 2 of the apothecaries in there, that's definitely kind of a fun little force to have running forward. But also the Vanguard 3, you're then competing with Rampagers for a similar kind of job,
yeah,
and the Rampagers obviously are actually going to be able to do the job instead
yeah,
of these guys that are likely going to bounce stuff off, or are going to get very expensive, paying all the power weapons you need to make them really effective.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. It's cool though. I like it.
Yeah,
It fits the
they're definitely
fluff.
kind of takeable.
Yeah. Uh, and now we're into legacy units. So the Red Hand Destroyers. So this is 85 points for a unit of 4 Ravagers and 1 Blood bonded, and can take up to an extra 10 Ravagers, 15 points each. Stats are movement 7, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 4, 1 wound each, initiative 4. Ravagers are 2 attacks and leadership 7. The Blood bonded is 3 attacks and leadership 8. They are cool 8, willpower and intelligence 7, and a 3+ save. Their special rules are Firestorm, Bitter Duty, Bearers of the Blood Hand, which essentially means when resolving the combat, including this unit, gain +1 combat resolution. They come equipped with 2 bolt pistols, chainsaws, and rad grenades. And you can swap, any model can swap chainsword for cadre weapon. For every 5 models, one may swap a pistol for a destroyer missile launcher with rad missiles or a thunderhammer. The Blood Bonded may take any weapon from the Sergeant's list, melter bombs and phosphex bombs. Always a good option. And the other version of this is essentially the unit can be taken with jump packs, basically exactly the same rules. If you take them with jump packs, they're 110 for 5, 22 points each extra, and they gain bulky 2 and deep strike. I mean, this is essentially just a destroyer unit with a World Eaters vibe, isn't it? Really.
Flavoring, yeah.
I mean, the +1 combat resolution is pretty good.
Yeah, it's decent, and I think kind of using these sensibly to take out enemy line units and going down the side of the battlefield is definitely kind of viable. I probably would only really take these guys with the jump packs. I played against some. I haven't used these as one of the units I never got around to kind of making that, but they're quite easy to kill. The fact that you've only got one wound, you're 3-up save, it just means that if you're trying to fight against things that are good in combat, your weapon skill 4, you got 1 wound, you're just not going to survive. You might get some combat res, but you're just going to probably be dead, sadly. So you want to be hunting enemy units that are on the fringes with your jump packs or some line units. This is the only way you can kind of really try and do your old school rampages with jetpacks. They're just so much worse than a rampager that personally they don't appear in any of my lists.
No,
you could take them. I just sadly think they are they need to be kind of hunting weaker things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I agree with the jump pack, especially as kind of assault units can't take Vexillas. So you get the +1 combat res that most kind of assault type jump pack type units don't get. But I agree. I think there are other units that do it better. But it's cool, and they have rules. So what's not to love?
Exactly. It's nice to have rules.
And here he is, Khan the Bloody, the twice unslain. So high command, 175 points. He is infantry unique command. He is movement 7, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 5, strength, toughness, wounds 4, initiative 5, attacks 5, leadership 10, cool, willpower 9, intelligence 8, and he has a 2+4+ save. He comes with the Reaping Blow 2, Eternal Warrior 1, and Precision 5+. He is equipped with Cutter and Plasma Pistol. If Angron is not in the army, he may swap the Cutter for Gorechild Reforged for 10 points. I mean, what's not to love, really? It's Khan.
He's just such a legend.
Brilliant.
He's got such a cool kind of character arc, and he fits the army obviously so well, and just runs around. He kind of buffs the unit with his great stats if he's joining kind of rampages or whatever unit, even Big Despoiler Squad is great, and the precision is excellent. The fact that he just runs into a combat and just slowly
you're dead.
Takes out kind of, we'll take out your sergeant, we'll take out your Vexilla, we'll take out your Vox, take out your Power Fist. He's excellent. So if you've got the ability, if you're going to an event that allows characters, he's an excellent choice. I like the fact that technically as well, Gorechild, or the Reforged Gorechild, it's only if Angron is not in the army. It doesn't say Angron transfigured, which actually fluff-wise is perfect because that's literally he turns into kind of Demon Angron. That's when he gets Gorechild himself because he's got rid of it by that point. So I mean, if you've got the 10 points, you're taking Gorechild.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I don't know what second edition was like, but first edition the cutter was fucking terrible. Like you just never.
Second edition, same.
So it's nice to see that it is actually a feasible option. I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot better, or they've got a lot closer in stats. Sadly, the Reforged Gorechild is slightly worse than just Gorechild by itself. On Angron in like second edition, Gorechild was the same stats on Angron and on Khan. Okay. But this one's slightly worse, but it's got the critical hit and the shred, so it's only damage 1, but it then becomes damage 3 if you're on a 6+. And if you've got precision 5+, that means that you can be like in combat, and if you're not in a challenge, that you can target enemy kind of characters. And potentially one-shot enemy characters with a critical hit, which is great.
Cool. I love it, and I have to say, like the model still holds up. Like
model is excellent.
And he was quite large when he came out, so it's not. Plus, he's on a massive base, which always helps.
But he is on his little 25 mil base if you
Oh
don't
shit, he
actually
is, isn't he? That
display
goes
it,
inside
which
that.
is which is hilarious. So, but
Yeah, don't put
luckily, I
him on a
mean,
25 mil. Put him on that big base.
yeah, the big base fits on a 50 mil base, or you can
Yeah.
obviously super easily make it, just put them on a 32 or a 40 mil base.
Yeah, I
So
don't think they're on the
I've quite regularly just keep him like that for my
Yeah,
version,
yeah,
because I like having a slightly bigger base for my characters to make them stand out.
yeah. Come on, it's Khan. I don't think
He
anyone's
just
going to
looks, he's
cry
just
about
cool.
that, are they?
He's just great,
But yeah, I mean, Eternal Warrior 1 as well is huge. The Reaping Blow.
amazing.
Yeah, this is awesome. Oh God, you're making me want to do World
If
Eaters.
he's in a small if he's in a small elite force, he's getting Reaping Blow off. So if he's with a small Rampager squad, or if the Rampager squad gets whittled down a bit,
Yeah,
he's just getting so many attacks.
yeah,
It's great.
yeah. I love it. Latara Saren, Captain of the Conqueror. So she is a command choice, 85 points, infantry unique sergeant specialist. There's the model that they showed us a while ago that still
Which does exist because people have painted it,
it's still
but it came out and previewed in Valentine's Day with Angron.
that's
But
bizarre, isn't it? Bizarre,
it's
bizarre.
just it's very strange. I mean, I luckily kind of 3D printed my own to use her because she's one of my favorite characters in the whole of the Heresy.
Yeah.
And it was very random that they decided to give her rules
I
because
was literally
obviously
just going to say this.
she
Yeah.
never ever leaves her flagship.
Literally, it's such a and again I was thinking about it when I was going through the PowerPoint yesterday of like it's cool, but why? Like
I was expecting when they kind of mentioned that she was going to come out I was expecting maybe like, oh, she's like a Zone Mortalis only
yeah,
model. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that's super cool.
yeah.
Or, I mean, for some of her upgrades, I would just pay for it to be like a Vox upgrade to be able to call her. So you don't
Yes.
need a
Oh, that
model
would be
that's like,
cool. Yeah.
I'd pay like 50 points on a commander to be able to call
Yeah.
her,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even 85 points I'd potentially pay to
So
kind of get some of these abilities.
I mean, just for clarity, anyone watching who doesn't know, so she was the captain of the Conqueror, which was Angron's kind of flagship, and she is basically a badass. And in the books, you it's more often than not she's talking to Khan. Khan's kind of in a battle
Mhm.
somewhere, and she's like, Khan, the fucking idiots are doing this. Stop them from doing this or whatever. You know, she would do what she could to help them. She could see the Legion kind of slowly losing her mind, but she also gave zero fucks. Like she shoots a dude in the face with her plasma pistol.
Yeah, she kind of as they get boarded and they're kind of chief defense anti-border, kind of the most elite people and the Legion champion,
Has gone.
has just decided to fuck off down to the planet,
Which is the
which is
most
basically my
well-eaten
first
thing.
list.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
based around that,
Cool.
and she then shoots him when he comes back on with giving no fucks and expecting to die instantly
Just-
because she shot a space marine in the face. And he's got all his buddies with him, but then the rest of the Legion just basically stand in front of her and
Yeah.
are like, "No, you dare not touch her." They've got
Yeah.
like maximum respect. She's got
Yeah.
this red hand on her, which is kind of Khan's handprint. That's basically Angron's kind of given her this kind of honor because they're so respected. When they wake up their old Legion master, Lord, the Dreadnought,
Sorry, yeah, Dreadnought, yeah.
they play kind of like card games or kind of chess to get together and discuss things. So, but she's like the youngest fleet commander, and she's just a tactical genius. And the Conqueror has got these huge harpoons that she
yes.
fires and captures other ships with. She's just written about so well in Betrayer.
Such a good character, such a good character, which is why I don't hate the fact that they made a character a rules for her. It just seemed a bit strange, but
Yeah, and the face for me is the only kind of a bit weird bit is that she looks very kind of aggressive in the kind of description. She's a lot more kind of cool and calm and beautiful kind of
right, interesting.
version.
Yeah.
But it's great that she's got one day maybe a model that will come out.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. So, Her stats are movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership and cool 9, willpower, intelligence 8. She has a 6 plus normal save and a 5 plus invulnerable. Her special rules are level-headed and Shadow of the Conqueror. She comes equipped with a fleet service pistol, which is range 12, one shot, strength 3, damage 1 pistol, and the Conqueror's Bite, which is her sword. Attacks at initiative and attacks and strength. I don't know what he's saying there.
AP. This is basically it's a
It's an
standard
AP.
combat.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
the
Yeah,
AP
it's
thing.
basically all her stats, but it's AP2, damage 1, sword.
And yeah, you're not taking her for any of her stats or her equipment. You are taking her for her 2 special abilities, which are immense.
So level-headed, if she's in a unit during the start phase, she can use her cool or leadership to remove a status from that unit. So just remove a status at the start phase as well.
Yeah, so she's basically a Vox.
Yeah.
So if you've got a unit that cannot take a Vox, you can attach her to get rid of those statuses, which is great. And annoyingly, her infantry type is only sergeant and specialist. She's not command, even though she takes up a command slot. So you can't use her as a Vox for a unit, for another unit on the battlefield. But the unit she's with, she can get rid of those statuses, which are amazing.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So it is good, but if the unit she's in never takes a status, then she's
And I mean, normally I quite often put her with a squad of auto cannons at the back, so she can kind of see, or sometimes I might depending if I'm using her for her aerial reserves, then I'll probably hide her because I don't want her to get sniped out if I'm paying the points to take a load of aircraft.
Yeah, so her second rule, Shadow of the Conqueror, if she is in the primary force in the effects subphase of the start phase, she can take an intelligence test. If this is passed, she can either coordinate, which is +1 to a single aerial reserve roll, that turn, which is huge because being able to affect aerial reserve rolls is nearly impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, you just got the Ultramarine guy. That's sadly she's got to pass the intelligence check, so she's got to pass the intelligence 8. And then it only does it to one aircraft. It doesn't do it to all your aircraft. It's just one unit that she gets to pick. But it is I'm using her for that ability, and it is game changing. So paying 85 points for that ability is amazing.
And if she's not affecting your area reserve roll, she can choose Annihilate. So in the following enemy turn, may make the Guns of the Conqueror reaction. Costs 3 points, so that's a hefty reaction points cost. When an enemy, oh Christ, I can't talk today. Enemy finishes a move within 24 inches and line of sight, it may be targeted by an one shot, strength 10, AP 3, damage 3, barrage 2, 7-inch blast of breaching 5+, which always scatters.
This is hilarious. And as soon as I realized she was going to exist, and I printed one, I also then found a Battlefleet Gothic version of the Conqueror and printed one, so that whenever she does this, I get to put the Conqueror model next to her to basically say she has called in the big guns. If you come near me, she's going to shoot you.
Nice.
Which is very cool. But it's very awkward to use. It is hilarious, but it is a bit of a kind of it's generally bad for you when I've ever used it, because 3 reaction points means you're doing nothing else. So tactically you're doing nothing. You're not moving around, you're not returning fire, you're not doing anything. Which is probably the biggest flaw with this. They've got to move within 24 inches of you, as a World Eater player, you're probably standing next to the enemy.
Yeah.
And it always scatters. You do not roll for hit to hit. It just scatters.
Yeah.
It is barrage 2, but if you've
Yeah.
got line of sight, that means it's only going 1d6. And she has to have line of sight. So I'm basically guessing if she sees a guy, you could use the barrage to aim it at someone not in sight of the squad, is basically how I kind of think about it. But otherwise, it's just 1d6 because it's in line of sight.
Yeah.
Is my general kind of assumption for that. But I have managed to, so far, my best kill is 3 tactical marines.
Okay.
With this.
Yeah.
I have taken a wound off Demon Angron with this.
That's good.
So hitting my own guys. I have hurt my own Spartan with this. I've taken out 5 of my own tactical marines with this. So, because obviously it does not hit where you target it,
no.
And it's a 7-inch blast, it causes havoc, and generally it's going to hit your stuff most of the time. So if an enemy is stupid enough to come within 24 inches of you, but you have to do it on your turn. So you've got to set it up in a bit of an awkward way that you've got to.
Yeah, it's really.
So if the enemy goes first, you can't use it as a reaction.
Yeah.
You have to go. You have to spend your turn doing this intelligence check, which is still an 8 to get off. Then you phone in the Conqueror as a. If they come within 24 inches, I can spend all my reaction points. If you've already spent a reaction point moving a unit, can't do anything. Yeah. If you haven't got a high command, you haven't got enough points to do it.
Yeah.
So it is super cool that she can do it, and it is hilarious whenever I've done it. But I've always done more damage to myself than the enemy.
But you are more likely taking her for the +1 to a single aerial reserve than trying to drop a pie plate on someone. Exactly,
or just a level-headed bit, or just the fact that she's just a badass character, and therefore having her, she still obviously unlocks a detachment because
of course,
she's a command. So and 85 points. She's cheaper than the Centurion with no upgrades. So even if you just stick her in the back of your force, and she can get rid of a status for something that's scoring, that's really good, decent.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I just find it such a bizarre thing. Of all the characters I thought they were going to do, this was not what I saw coming.
No, it's the bottom of the barrel that you ever.
It's just bizarre, isn't it? But I mean, she's such a popular character. I think that's
she's a fan favorite. I've seen a lot of cosplayers. I saw kind of an excellent one actually at the event I went to most recently. Someone kind of was dressed up as her,
right?
So
it's
there are, she's very, very cool, but a bit odd choice to actually have as a model if we ever get her.
So up next, Angron, finally onto the big man himself, the Red Angel, Lord of the Red Sand. So he is a Warlord slot, 450 points, Paragon unique. He is movement 8, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, and attack 6, leadership 12, cool, willpower, intelligence 10, 2+ save 4+, invulnerable. He is bulky 4, Eternal Warrior 2, impact, strength, Sire of the World Eaters, and Lord of the Red Sands. So Lord of the Red Sands is an interesting one.
Yep.
He can basically fight as many challenges as he wants in a turn, and adds the results of all the combat resolutions to that combat.
So if you're fighting an enemy, if an enemy has got a couple of characters in a squad, he is just amazing at dealing with those, because he's gonna win, unless they're Primarchs, and even at Primarchs, there's probably a good chance he's gonna win, because he obviously, compared to other Primarchs, is very similar, but the weapon skill 8 means he's up there with the top boys.
So this is interesting, because in first edition you could issue basically you could put your attacks into different characters. So however many attacks he had, you had to then
split them up.
say like I'm going to put 4 on this, 2 on that, 2 on that, and what you could do is you could just fucking kill everyone in. You could kill like the sergeant, a
Yeah.
character, whoever it was. You could put attacks on, and it was really really powerful. Whereas now this is against challengers, so it has to be against someone who can actually challenge command specialist, whatever it is. But I still like the fluff. I like the fact that they've kept that there. And yeah, like you say, if you come into a squad with,
And I think I'm completely lying because normally when I've used Angle and things like that, you're fighting against other characters, but I've got it in front of me. I think you may actually be able to get precision strikes with Paragon. Do you get that?
gosh, you know what? I never use Primarchs, to be honest. You check that, and I will talk about
Yeah.
Sire of the World Eaters. So this is kind of every Primarch kind of has a rule similar to this, really. So Sire of the World Eaters means that if 4 or more troop slots are filled with assault or despoilers, then excuse me, then all the troop slots count as having a prime. And also in the first turn, he gives fast 2 to all infantry and paragon units. So, I mean, this is a fairly kind of standard thing across the Primarchs now, isn't it?
It's pretty
making all your
standard. I
troops
mean, if you're
prime.
taking Angron, there's a reasonable chance you're gonna may have 4 despoilers, but it's a lot of kind of points. I mean, line units
Yeah,
are super useful, so it's definitely good. But as you said, it's basically the same for every single one out there. Fast 2 means you're not going to be in rhinos and things like that to use that ability.
yeah. I read
So
this and I was like, meh.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, cool.
I'm probably never going to use that ability ever. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
it's just,
but
it's a weird
at
one, isn't it?
least it's the same for every single legion now.
Yes, yeah,
You
yeah,
get
yeah,
something
yeah,
kind of okay, and I mean if you get just the prime slots to make them all veteran, or if you want them later in the heresy to make them all kind of malefic to just not run away and be crazy, then
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not terrible, but I find Primarchs are in a bit of a strange place now because so many events just don't let you run Primarchs that you
Yeah,
almost just never. I can't remember the last time I played a game where I actually I was against a Primarch or
no,
like I
it's
said,
very
I
rare.
was
The last one that I went to that had this was over a year ago, which was a Heresy Hammer event where you had
yeah,
to take the Primarch,
yeah,
but I mean, Angon in theory hasn't lost too much because he never was an army buff. So the army buff ability that
yeah,
they all now get is all a bit rubbish and bit
yeah,
rubbish in
yeah,
general. And like, luckily, the Paragon ability does say that any hits in combat or shooting, you can pick who you're hitting.
Oh,
If he's
interesting.
not in a
Yeah.
challenge, you can
So
still just
yeah,
go, boop, boop, boop,
that's
boop, boop,
cool.
you're
Like,
getting
yeah,
killed as you go through. But he is obviously a beast when it comes to kind of attacks, and Gore Child
yeah, we've got the rules for
is
that here.
great. If you get a 6 to hit, you damage 4, which even against and this is where kind of fighting other Primarchs is quite good, especially if you take um, the last challenge one, which gives you +1 strength and +1 toughness. The name I've forgotten.
Yeah.
That means if you get a critical, you're damage 5.
Finishing blow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, finishing blow. So damage 5 against a Primarch, which has got a turn of warrior 2. You're doing 3 damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means if you get 2 of those off, and you get a load of attacks, if they fail 4 invulnerable saves, you could just kill them outright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is big for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. He's definitely a murderer, isn't he? And his model's still not. I mean, his model has. He was one of the first kind of Primarch models, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
he is looking a little teeny tiny nowadays, but it's still a
He
cool
is he is a
model.
bit small. I mean, the dynamic nature of that model is just gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
the kind of whole
Yeah.
running through, and especially with the display base with him with the guys that he's kind of just massacring on Esteban 3
out
just
the way.
looks so great, and the fact he's just killing world eaters as well is just great. It's just like, yep, coming down, killing my sons. I don't care. I'm just killing things.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you're taking Angron, you're just throwing them into the enemy. Like that's all you care about. Just punch things. I used to have great fun. Just Angron would run off on his own and punch stuff. Like he is definitely a murderer, and it's good to see that he is still he's a murderer.
Simple guy.
Simple man who just loves punching everything and anything. And here we have Angron Transfigured, the Annihilator, Death Incarnate, and his beautiful model that you can't buy.
Never come out.
You do have a plastic 40k version.
Yeah, the 40k version's okay. It's a bit too 40k-ish, but
yeah.
I mean, no one would really care too much if you turned up, and kind of obviously it is a late heresy guy anyway when he turns into a demon. The model there is great. You've got kind of versions like the one you had at the beginning of mine, which is a bit more kind of chilled, kind of ominous, kind of looking over the battlefield before he's about to attack. But at least I can use the model because it exists. If this model comes out, I will probably buy him and paint him up as well, just because I love big monsters and he's cool. But if they're not going to release it, that's another problem.
It's funny, isn't it? Classic GW. I want to spend my money, but you're not letting me spend my money.
Exactly.
So Angron Transfigured is a Warlord slot. He is 600 points. Paragon. He is unique, anti-grav, and malefic. His stats are movement 14, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 6, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative 7, attacks 8. That's fucking nuts. Leadership 12, cool 10, willpower 12, intelligence 8, 2+4+ save. He is bulky 7, eternal warrior 2, deep strike, fear 2, a rare appearance of fear, and lord of the corruption. So lord of the corruption, which is his only rule, is you can't take him with normal Angron. So there you go. That's it.
Especially it's got a really cool name. The first time I read it, Lord of Corruption is going to be this is obvious.
So you can't have two Angrons on the same. Brilliant. I mean, at least they've covered that because
someone would have wanted to do it.
Yeah,
you had to have been playing though, like 4,200 point game to be able to legally take both of them.
And he comes equipped with Blades of the Red Angel. So Blades of the Red Angel. So you got two kind of choices with these weapons. Eviscerating Slashers is base initiative, base attacks, base strength, AP 2, damage 2, reaping blow 2. And then Crushing Blows is -2 initiative, 4 attacks, +4 strength, AP 2, damage 4, critical hit 6+, and armor bane. So you are strength 11 with damage 4. So this is great, isn't it? I mean, essentially, you're either smashing dudes or you're smashing tanks.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some quite fun things you can do with him. I mean, I don't generally like taking normal Angron. I just find that from fluff purposes, he basically ruins the Legion. So he kind of annoys me a bit too much. But I love massive demons. So like taking this guy is great. And there's a few kind of strange scenarios that can actually happen where when he charges and he's against like a standard line unit, he's probably getting Reaping Blow off because they outnumber him to start with. When there's 10 of them. So he's getting 11 attacks on the charge. So you could just wipe out the whole squad. But you're likely going to kill like 8 or 9 of them by missing 1 or 2 kind of attacks. The hilarious thing that could happen that we've found out by going through and reading the rules is that obviously you wipe out the unit, you have crazy combat res and fear 2, they are running away.
Yeah.
But because you're on a big base and they're on a tiny base, they run quite far. If they run past their own units towards their board edge, which is quite likely a lot of the time,
Yeah.
the rules say that if you try and follow them up, that you just move towards them, and if you get into base contact with an enemy model, you're in combat. So if they run through their, like, this has happened regularly, kind of run through their rapier squad,
Yeah.
go past their rapier squad, I move directly towards them, and I have to hit their rapier squad, I'm now in combat with their rapier squad. And I count as charging. So that means the rapier squad can't now shoot me. And I then he just then jumps around combat. If he can survive getting shot,
Yes.
which is the kind of the big thing, but he's malefic, so you can't join things easily. Although I have made up a command squad, a jump pack command squad, and there are ways to give a prime slot to command squads, so you can give them malefic. So if I want a wound pool to go with him, they fly off with him, and he then can get into combat and do his thing.
Yeah.
In challenges, the critical hit means he's doing damage 5. Finishing blow means you can be doing damage. You can be doing damage 6. So against Primarchs, which you've got Eternal Warrior 2, that's 4 damage.
Yeah.
Or just the reaping blow and just doing a lot of attacks instead of just the 4 really powerful ones. So he's great, and if you're playing the official GW rules, he becomes better for terrain. Because you can he's a massive model, but obviously any terrain just strangely hits them. Yeah. So normally whenever I play them and I go to an event where they have to use those rules, I'm like, it is up to you. If you want to be able to shoot him, go for it, because he is bigger than what he's standing on or behind. So go for it. If you want to shoot him, if you don't want to shoot him, that's your choice.
If you don't shoot him, he's going to get in combat and murder you.
Mm-hmm. But he's also got because he's a world eater, in theory he can use the reaction to charge you if you shoot him. So if he's next to you, he's a beat stick. He's 600 points, but I mean, he's killed things like shadow swords in combat and tanks, and just going. Normally, whatever the enemy's overall command squad is, he just runs towards, or I put him right in the middle of the board, because the Fear 2 bubble is huge, because that means that if you're charging with other units and there's and you win by 1, that automatically becomes winning by or -3 to their leadership.
Yeah.
I know that kind of other weapons, panic weapons on flamers, the Havoc launchers, which is obviously the Heresy Hammer favourite weapon. Meaning that that Fear 2 becomes huge.
Yeah, I mean, Fear 2 is massive anyways, isn't it? It's quite rare now. I just love the idea of just a massive imposing model that the army can kind of work around. I love the fact that he's got no actual special rules that do anything for the army, because he doesn't give a fuck. He's just there to murder things and doesn't care what everyone else is doing around him. But
it's super simple. He loves it.
It fits the fluff as well, doesn't it? I just think
so much. He doesn't care about anyone at this point whatsoever.
Yeah,
he didn't really care about many people to start with.
No.
But
no.
Yeah, he's fun to run. Kind of going through things.
Well, GW, hurry up and release
he's definitely actually
model.
Decent.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Right, we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll go into the list that Alex has kindly written. So
sounds good.
See you in a minute.
It's time to upgrade your battlefield with Sacrus Mundus terrain. Sacrus Mundus sculpt breathtakingly detailed and varied terrain that will bring your games of Horus Heresy to life. From the ruined cities of Armoria to the jungle vestiges of Lintrath, Sacrus Mundus design immersive battlefields for any type of tabletop wargaming experience you desire. Find their extensive terrain collections online right now.
Right, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that little break. So we're going to go straight into the lists that Alex has written. First up is 2,000 points. Do you want to just go through these?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a Praetor. Now, strangely, the Praetor is not there to actually do quite effective combat work. I've given him a Paragon Blade to make him useful if you can do.
Right.
But he's there to actually access a officer cadre, as I said earlier, to get the chain bonded. So you'll notice that I've got a Legion champion in the officer cadre with a prime chain bonded to give the +2 to hit.
Right.
And then in my normal army, I've got a centurion with a prime for Paragon of Battle, which means that I then have 2 guys together that are both weapon skill 6,
yeah,
but are getting +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So on most things, they're hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
So I've got Latara Seren. She is there to call in the Dreadclaw that you'll see kind of later on. And then I've got the main part of this army. So this is based on the Betrayer book and the Battle of Armatura, where their main kind of fighting force that defends the Conqueror is sent down to the planet, or decides to bugger off is the more effective way of describing this. So I've got a Centurion with a Thunder Hammer. This is representing Darvarus, who is their overall Legion champion and leader of the Triari, which is their veteran breacher kind of force.
Yeah.
I did have him with a Meteor Hammer to start with for a couple of games, but in challenges he just wouldn't do anything. So his models, as you can see from earlier in the kind of presentation, with a big kind of heavy Meteor Hammer, but I use it as a Thunder Hammer for actual effectiveness. And he's got Vexilla boarding shields to go with the veteran breachers, and melter bombs, just because I had a few points left over. And then I've got standard 10 tactical marines, Vox twice up to score some easy points. They've got the rhinos there. Then I've got the Tender Spoilers. So this is with the Introduction cadre, which for those of you who don't know is from one of the extra little mini books that came out.
Yeah, it's from the from one of the journals.
From the Istvan one, I think, from memory. And this allows, if an enemy model moves, that you can then deploy them. So they start in reserve, and then you deploy them further than 4, less than 6. You deploy them 5 inches away. And you can then roll your 2d6 charge, or you can volley fire. You're obviously not going to volley fire. No. You're going to charge in. So originally I did this with just a bare bones, just chain axes, because that's what I had. And a couple of times they just bounced off and didn't do anything.
Interesting.
So I then went for 2 power spears, a Vexilla, and the sergeant has lightning claws. So what this then does is an enemy, generally the line unit, moves up towards an objective. They get dumped out. The power spears are getting 3 attacks each on a standard despoiler, and they charge. So one of them generally will get a precision hit, and then they can take out their sergeant or their Vexilla or something like that to help me with combat res. And I mean, a power spear is still AP3 and is going is going +1 initiative. And then the lightning claws just get a lot of attacks. So those 3 guys are just taking out line guys easily. So you get enough combat res for them to run away. Then we've got the Rhino. We've got 1 for heavy flamer to kind of be a bit more of an aggressive squad. and then one with the Havoc launcher at the back to kind of just give a little bit of support as well. We've got 8 autocannons squad, and they generally are paired with Latara Seren. And then we've got a veteran cadre, so I can get that because of the champion. And that then gives me 10 veteran breachers to represent my triaring. And then they've all got power weapons. So we've got a mixture of lightning claws. Sadly, you can't take 2 lightning claws with a shield. So they've got, so to start with, I generally have 6 power spears. Because the fact that they just, or 4 power spears and 2 axes, just because World Eaters like a little bit of axes in there. A couple of power fists in there as well, and they can take a Vox and a Vexilla, which is incredibly useful. So they then go in the Dreadclaw, and you'll also see later on in my heavy support, I've got a Contemptor with a double chain fist.
Nice.
And he's got double melter as well most of the time. So what happens is the Dreadclaw is a flyer. So Latara Seren can call it in on a 2+ if she passes her intelligence 8 check, which she's going to do kind of over half the time. And both those units will regularly start off the board, the Contemptor and the Veteran Breachers with the 2 characters. If the enemy has a lot of AA or has kind of other things, then I will only put 1 unit in because I want to make sure that I can kind of survive. But the Dreadnought is very good at coming out of the Dreadclaw and just firing its 2 melter guns, potentially taking out a tank at point blank range, and then charging something with its chain fists. Contemptor's not very good at actually doing damage against line units or anything, basically. But as a tank hunter, and the fact that the Dreadclaw starts on your board edge, which can be the little side parts, and then moves 15 inches, then the Dreadnought gets placed and then it gets to move. Because it's a flyer, you are allowed to charge because it's not deep strike. You are disordered, so you don't get your setup move, but you've gone so far forward, and because tanks can't now move react, you can be 1 inch away from an enemy tank. So regularly I'll put him down, who I use as kind of Lork from the fluff of the whole list, and he will go and tank hunt something, their big tank, because I don't really have much anti-tank in the list, apart from the Predator with the conversion beam and las cannons. And then from turn 2, which normally would be a 4+ for a flyer to come on the second turn, but Latara can make it a 3+. Then the Veteran Breacher and the 2 characters can come on from anywhere on the board, and they can then get exactly where they need to be.
And the flyer gets worse every time it comes on again, doesn't it? So it's an extra +1. So
I can either, if they've got a lot of AA kind of weapons, then I'll probably deploy the Contemptor and have them in the Dreadclaw and maybe wait a turn, depending how aggressive they are. But they then come down and hunt pretty much anything, even against stuff that they're not necessarily combat weapons too well designed for, because there's a lot of power weapons that are going to bounce off 2+ armor saves. They still stay around a lot because they've got 2 wounds, they've weapon skill 5 for a Veteran Breacher, and I've then got Vexillas in there, and if I'm against Terminators, I'm probably still outnumbering them. So the combat res means that they generally stay around, and then they're just a pain to deal with. But you just dump them in the enemy deployment zone, and you can just wipe out their line units or kind of things like rapiers. They're very good, and they're a lot of fun and nice, kind of very fluffy force and great modelling kind of.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. I was literally, before you start talking about the veteran breaches, I was going to ask how you found them. Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I love the fluff, but you've got a bit of everything. The thing I found with World Eaters when I played them is it's very easy. I know we keep saying like, oh, just charge and kill everyone,
Yeah.
but which is fun. But after a while, that does get a bit samey. So it's nice to see a list where you can actually do other things. You've got your tactical squad, so you can score. You know, your interdiction card draw. I love the idea of that. Just all these idiots bursting out of nowhere and then just murdering you. And the use of the Dreadclaw, like the fact that Latara actually makes it flipping usable.
Yeah, and the fact that you've got 3 units, if they've not got lots of AA, that are in reserve, it makes the opponent think quite carefully about how they're going to move or even how they're going to deploy.
Yeah.
Because the Dreadclaw, if the Dreadclaw kind of can get into the middle of their army or into their back lines, then that unit's just going to run rampant.
Yeah.
So they have to think sensibly, which means that instead of just, I run forwards, it makes it a bit more kind of tactical, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. So, my thing stopped. So up next is the 2,500 points, and here he is, the man himself, Khan the Bloody.
Yeah. So this is the actually, I'm just going to run at you.
Yes.
List.
Yeah.
This is the I don't need to think. I'm just going to get my. I'm probably going to take the +1 to charge ability. So we've got Khan in there with Gore Child. We've then got a Spartan, which is going to have him with the 11 Rampagers running in, going kind of crazy, just killing things throughout there. We've then got a pair of Centurions just to basically unlock different kind of parts and nice cheap kind of characters to add to things. We've got 2 10-man tactical squads. They've got the basic Rhinos with Havoc launchers. They're going to be the ones that are actually not going to go full mental and actually try and score and try and see if we can win the game without just running forward and killing things. And then we've actually got 2 lots of the interdiction cadres in this case, because you get the prime benefit on the standard one and the Berserker cadre. You get it again.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
This is 2 cheeky squads, which could, normally, if I'm running to spoilers, they need to be in Rhinos because they're just going to get shot otherwise.
Yeah.
So actually, these prime benefits are saving me 60 points.
Yeah.
And are ways of just wiping out kind of bits. If you wanted to give them other power weapons, you could actually hunt light vehicles with them, which is kind of slightly different way, or just kind of getting in the way. But definitely for taking out line units or just stopping the enemy moving forward is brilliant. And then we've got a Rhino with a heavy flamer and a Dozer Blades. The Dozer Blades are there just to make sure that we're getting as far forwards as possible on all of these. So there's the Rhino is there for the 5-man Rampager squad that have all just got Phalanx Blades. Their job is just to hunt line units or just hunt things that have got AP3. So they could be trying to drive forward to go towards the Rapier squads right at the back, because they will just annihilate anything they hit, or going into things on objectives because they've got the Vanguard 3 as well. And then we've got the Land Raider in the Armored Fist for the 5 Red Butchers with the Apothecary, who's got that prime Butcher Surgeon. So this is the way you can use that weird interdiction kind of version, because it's just a random Apothecary prime benefit that they just added to that kind of section. So that means that Red Butcher squad is just getting a lot of attacks, because the Power Axes already get +1. They're getting +1 from their Legion trait, and the Apothecary is giving them +1 on top of that.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
They are just in a Land Raider, to give them a bit of speed. It also gives me a little bit of anti-tank with the Land Raider and the Spartan.
Yeah.
To keep all these crazy people just rushing forward. So it's quite nice. You basically kind of you've got a lot of stuff there, but you're actually only deploying 2 Land Raider, a Spartan, and 3 Rhinos. That's the only thing that's on the board. I like a nice simple deployment.
Yeah. It's compact, isn't it? Yeah, I used to run a Land Raider and 2 Spartans, I think it was, and basically my whole army fitted in those 3 tanks.
It's lovely. I like doing that.
But I do like. I mean, it's only 5 tanks, but everything has a threat.
Yep.
That's the thing, isn't it? You have to, like, do I concentrate on the rampages? Do I concentrate on the red butchers? Like, what am I going after? Whatever's going to touch me is going to hurt me. Do I?
Exactly. It's like, do I go after things that are actually going to score the points and potentially win the game, or am I going after things that are just going to decimate me in combat?
So yeah, I like that. Plus Khan, what's not to love? Oh man, I love the idea of a Spartan just full of lunatics. I really do.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, kind of multiple Spartans and Land Raiders.
Oh god,
they just look great. And you for kind of pictures you can see on the first page, I've got I printed kind of Rhinos that then have the full 360 tracks.
Yeah.
They then all look kind of the same kind of pattern almost with the Land Raiders and the Spartans.
Right, let's take a look at the 3,000 point list then.
All right, so this is basically kind of going full on Siege of Terror. We are just mental people killing things. So the big thing for this is we're taking Demon Angron.
Yeah.
So the main, the standard part of that of the list, we've got a Terminator Centurion with a Thunderhammer. And then we've got 10 Tactical Marines. We have a spare Prime Benefit, so combat veterans. 10-man Tactical, 10-man Rhino. They've all got Rhinos just to kind of keep them alive to start with, and they can then go and score their objectives. But we've got Angron. He just fucks off by himself. And just gets into the middle of the enemy lines and uses Fear Bubble to mean that everything else that hits is running away very quickly. We've then got a Cataphractii Command Squad, which are actually, I have them modelled up as his Devourers, which are the fluff, his personal command squad that are supposedly the most elite people, but he hates them with a passion and runs away from them every single time he gets down to a planet. And that's what happens kind of in the list, is that the Devourers go on one part of the board and Angron fucks off somewhere else. So they've got a Land Raider.
I love that. That's awesome.
But their weapon skill 5.
I don't need bodyguards.
Yeah, exactly. Why should a Primarch need a bodyguard? This is not needed. I love even in the fluff that kind of people like Khan and others get invited to join the Devourers, and they're like, no one likes you guys. It was really elite. Now it's just embarrassing to be part of this squad. But a weapon skill 5 Terminator squad are amazing, and especially as the fact that you can buy, like, they have a banner with them. It means that they are just when they hit stuff, especially with the Fear Bubble around, they're getting a lot of combat res, and then things are running away from them. So cool. They do great. And then we've got kind of the big scary things in here. So we've got a Kratos, and the Kratos is the full kind of melter las cannon, nice. Searchlights. And we've got then a pair of Tech Marines running around. They just run around by themselves, repairing things with their cyber familiars to make them kind of better. And they get each of these kind of are then getting the logistical benefits to get the Kratos in there. He's got the Decurion, which when I've taken it to events is just scary when tanks shoot at you and you just turn back and just annihilate stuff.
Yeah.
When you've got 4-turn games and you can kill more tanks than that, and with the tech marines kind of repairing it, and then I've got an apothecary to go with one of the squads, mainly just whichever one is trying to hold my home objective, to make sure they're not running away. But I've then got a Saturnine dreadnought with the 2 inversion beamers.
Nice.
It's got the photonic incinerators, but nothing normally ever gets near it because the army's running forward, so there's things in front of it, and that means it can get close enough to just delete stuff. With those 5-inch templates. So it's kind of just taking out kind of scoring units or taking out more elite stuff if it gets kind of in range. And then because we're going full Siege of Terror, I thought we've got Demon Angron, there's going to be Warp Rifts around, we're going to have some demons running around with them as well. Nice. So we've got Ruinstorm Harbinger, which is like their basic HQ. And then I've got 5 Demon Brutes. And probably the Khorne type one as an ability is so rubbish. It just gives them, they can't get blessed and targeted by psychic powers. Which doesn't really happen, and is actually probably a negative in a demon army where you kind of want to buff stuff. So I'll probably either give them the Encroaching Ruin, which gives them the option to take other psychic powers if they wanted to for a few points. You just drop those off. Or I quite like taking the Pyromancy type one, that basically has them all on fire, which is a bit more kind of, I feel, Khorne, as they're kind of just almost like the blood is kind of boiling off people.
Nice.
Going through. But the Demon Brutes are, and especially with the Harbinger, are surprisingly one of the Harbinger is one of the best scoring units in the game. Which is really
in a weird place
in a sad way with demons, that they now are really good at holding objectives and rubbish at everything else.
It's a strange place to be for demons.
It is, sadly. So they work well as a small kind of allied force. I was also kind of considering putting maybe kind of like some demon swarms just for the fact they can infiltrate and maybe hold some early objectives. As they were just super cheap line kind of holding units as basic troops. But so I think demons work kind of okay as little small allied forces, but sadly,
I agree.
They're not really big forces anymore.
No. But I love this. I love Angron transfigured, just running around on his own with his Terminator squad trying to keep up with.
Like, Daddy, come back.
literally. Thank you very much. I love these. Oh man, the trouble is I always do this. We do these deep dives and then you just want to go off and start that Legion, and it's like, no, stop it.
That is the problem. There's so many kind of cool Legion ups and kind of fluff and things like that. Every time I read a new kind of Heresy book, I'm just like, man, let's do that. I could just do a small force.
Yeah.
Dangerous slope.
So final thoughts on the World Eaters. So they are, I don't want to say they're a one-trick pony, but
they're a simple kind of, you know what you're getting kind of with them. If you're playing against a World Eater force, you know what's going to be happening. They're going to running forward towards you. They may do, there's varieties. You may have, predators are quite a common thing with World Eaters, but they're just going to be running towards you. So they're good fun to play. They're simple, especially kind of a narrative events where you don't necessarily care if you're winning games through to objective points. You're just having fun because you're killing things.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that's probably, I mean, I don't tend to take many games particularly seriously. Like I like to do things that are funny rather than, or not funny, but fluffy rather than being super tactical. Like Rob's
Yeah.
more kind of like, oh, super tactical. And it is one of the things I do miss about the World Eaters is I just didn't give a fuck. I was just like, you
No.
know what? I'm going to charge this, and I don't give a shit. And it's like, yeah, but you're coming off that objective. I don't care, or But Angron's going to die because he's on his own and he's charging a 10-man last cannon squad or something. You're like, I don't care.
Worth it.
I'm just going to
that's what he would do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no way that Angron would be like, guys, stop. This objective's important.
We have to
kind
really
of-
hold this thing here. Like,
Yeah,
no one cares.
I mean,
Just punch
he
things.
he doesn't have kind of healers, so he could still hold like a 3 objective in the middle of the board. The
Yeah.
most funny thing is that in theory, Demon Angron could even come out of a Land Raider because he's only bulky 7. This guy's stupid, but it's just like as a World Eater player, you're playing just to have fun a lot of the time, and you don't care about doing the tactical things. You're still a Space Marine, so you can totally do the tactical choice and keep your line units back and score things.
But don't
it's
do
a
that.
hyper aggressive kind of fun force.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, Alex. Thanks
No
for your
problem.
time. Just to see us out, we do have a Patreon. I'm probably going to get a slap on the wrist because I haven't mentioned it once the whole show. We have a Patreon, and we have 3 different tiers, and this is our top tier. Praetor patrons, massive shout out to all our supporters, but a super duper special hug and kiss to all these guys and girls for basically helping us do what we do, making it possible. I know YouTubers love saying stuff like that, but it's kind of true. Keeping the lights on in the Heresy Hammer HQ. So massive shout out to all you guys. If you do want to support us, just search Heresy Hammer in Patreon. Please give a like and subscribe if you've made it this far. This episode will be going out whenever Rob edits it. Not that it needs much editing. And then he will put it on all your favorite Spotify's and things like that. If you don't like watching on YouTube, if you have a question, Heresy Hammer 30k@gmail.com, I think it is off the top of my head. We are on Instagram. We have a massive WhatsApp chat group thing. So if you go to our Instagram account, find our little link tree thing there, and you will find the WhatsApp group. We have a website, heresyhammer.com. If you are looking for events in the UK, go take a look. We have an events calendar on there. I think that has covered everything. Once again, massive shout out to Alex. Thank you very much for joining us. Let us know how you're getting on with World Eaters, if you've been running them or if you're thinking of running them. And that is it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
See ya.